have something that we could put this on? My phone, like something that we. All right, all right, all right, all right. Yeah, bring that, please.
All right. Testing 1, 2. Hey, welcome everybody to Club Chi Yoga here in East Chicago, Indiana for Scaring is Sometimes Caring event as Bob wanders into the shot. Bob Anderson right there. But thank you all for being here tonight for some spooky, good fun. We want to thank Club Chi Yoga, of course, for letting us participate here in this venue tonight. Give a hand to Club Chi Yoga. Of course, our spooky vendors as well. Check them out. Thank you all for being here. And to Chuck Pullen, of course, who's getting this all on camera here tonight. So thank you, Chuck. Give a hand to Chuck. There is a cash bar also available, so please feel free if you need some drinks. The bar is right down the hall and to the right there. So do not hesitate to get some drinks, some spirits as we talk about spirits. We got some great podcasts here lined up for you tonight. 3 podcasts to be exact. We're going to start off, though, with Jack Chavez and his fairly new podcast, Channeling Chavez. So with that, please welcome Jack Chavez.
Woo! Thank you, everybody, for coming. My name is Jack Chavez. I host the YouTube channel, Channeling Chavez, where I interview everybody in the paranormal. I interview them on their experiences, and if they're authors, I have authors on. They're paranormal writers, and sometimes it doesn't even have to be about the paranormal. Sometimes it's just interesting people that I want to talk to. Besides my channel, Channeling Chavez, I also run the Chicago Paranormal Convention. And woo! So yeah, I run the Chicago Paranormal Convention, and I also do ghost tours in Chicago. I've been doing that for many years, and I run public ghost investigations. So what I do is I rent out a haunted location, I open it to the public, I give a presentation on the history and hauntings of the place, and then I give everybody ghost equipment so they could investigate on their own. And I'm here with my good friend, Robert Galvin. Rob, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I'm a paranormal researcher. I've been into ghost hunting for about 4 years now, though I've done investigations before then. I also am a cryptid and Swedenborgian enthusiast.
Yeah.
I'm deep into different spiritualities, researching different cryptids, Tuttle Bottoms, Bigfoot, you name it. And yeah, I met Jack a few years ago and started helping him with some of his events, going on a lot of his ghost tours and ghost investigations, and actually have had contact with some sort of entities on them too.
Yeah, we've had a fair share of experiences. Rob and I, we go to many events. We do a lot of different things. And it's a lot of fun. It's not all just paranormal. It's just things that are really interesting. And what's more interesting than paranormal phenomena, right? And we're from the Chicagoland area. Well, we're from Chicago proper. But right here in Indiana, you could go anywhere around the world for interesting experiences. But right here in Indiana, there's plenty. And if you do your research on Northwest Indiana, where we are right now, there's so many things. You got ghosts. You got Dogman. You have several UFO sightings. Not too far from us is the William B. Powers Conservation Area. And it's also known as Wolf Creek. I think that's more the name that the locals go by. And there was a serial killer actually a couple years ago, Andrew Udalius, and he actually dumped one of the bodies in Wolf Creek because it's like kind of a swampy area. And when he was asked why he dumped the body there so far away from his home, because he's from Chicago, he responded with saying that he was drawn to that location. Now, what's really interesting about that is that that location, Wolf Creek, has been a dumping ground for bodies for a long time. Going back to the mobster era, we know that they dumped bodies there for over the course of several years. And Rob, you and I were talking about that earlier. Like, what do you think that is? Like, why would he be drawn to there? Is after all the bodies that were dumped from the mob, does it create some sort of energy field there?
I think it's just that he's drawn to it. It could be a lot of different things, right? There's a lot of different factors. I mean, it could even be as simple as some sort of psychological thing, like maybe there's something comforting in the swamp or in the area that reminds him of something from earlier in childhood or something, and that's why he chooses to dump him there. But it could also be an entity drawing him, pulling him in there. Almost like, I mean, there are lots of ancient civilizations where they would give sacrifices to the gods and different entities. So it could be something like that drawing him to that area, but he's not fully conscious of it.
Yeah.
It's something subconscious that's drawing him there, and he hasn't realized it yet.
Well, it's almost like that. There's certain areas that demand for there to be sacrifices.
Yeah.
Throughout the world, people would sacrifice to their gods. Across the world, across cultures, people
Right.
do it, and now we don't do that anymore. So I wonder if there's areas. So there's a term called the genie loci, and it's an ancient Greek idea. The genie loci was a spirit of a location. So that location could have been a home, it could have been a town, it could have been a small area, but these different areas have their own resident spirit. So what if places like that demand for sacrifices, and somebody that has a mind like Andrew, he took the bodies there because he felt that spirit calling out to him, demanding a sacrifice. Not only that, but Wolf Creek is known to be a haunted location. So there are people that say that they see spirits walk on top of that swampy area. Like their feet are not actually on the ground. It's like right above the marshy areas. Now, are any of you guys out there local to this area? Woo! Have you guys heard of any ghostly experiences at Wolf Creek? No? So there is a great book called Weird Indiana, where they talk about these experiences there, and it's almost like it's like this portal area, because there have been UFO sightings as well. So now you got UFO sightings, you got ghostly activity. When you have different phenomena taking place in one location, in the paranormal, we call this window areas. One of probably the most famous window area was in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. In 1966, you have the Mothman sightings that took place.
Which we visited that area
Yeah,
recently.
we were just there a
Yeah.
couple months
a
ago.
couple weeks ago. Right?
Couple weeks ago, yeah. We were there for the Mothman Festival. And in that area, so in 1966, people started seeing Mothman. And from 66 to 67, you have over 100 sightings of Mothman. And then after the collapse of the Silver Bridge, where how many people passed away? 37?
I believe it was like 47.
47?
About I know in the Mothman Prophecy movie they purposely changed the number just so the movie was more fictionalized. I know that.
In the movie it was 47. So then in the book, in real life, it was 37, I believe.
It was I think you're getting it mixed up. I think it was 37.
No, I think you're wrong.
I think.
No.
We could look this up.
Yeah.
Pretty sure. 37.
It's 47 in the movie.
If you look at the album for the Mothman Prophecies,
Oh, okay.
the second song says 37 in the.
Yeah, so I was right.
Well, that's for the movie.
Oh, it's not for
Well,
the movie.
well, it's okay though.
All right, all right. You know what? We're gonna get this right eventually.
46.
Yeah, I told you. Okay, there you go. Two points for Crystal over there. Woo! I don't even know where I was going with that. Oh, right. So, 40. How many? Okay. So during the collapse of after the collapse of the Silver Bridge, 46 people lost their lives, and then the Mothman sightings stopped. So some say that it was a harbinger of doom, or that it was, it's a predictor of disaster. But whatever happened during that time, you had a creature like Mothman. You have mass UFO sightings. You have the Men in Black visiting UFO witnesses, threatening them not to talk about their sightings. You have whole blocks where residential homes were experiencing poltergeist activity.
Phantom calls.
Oh, yeah, right. Phantom phone calls as well. And so you have a slew of things. So again, that's a window area. Can you think of another place?
Another place? I mean, there was the Flatwoods incident. There's the Grafton Monster.
But that's like a
Van Meter.
window area, though.
That's a window area?
Oh, Skinwalker
Skinwalker
Ranch.
Ranch.
Yeah,
Skinwalker
Skinwalker
Ranch
Ranch.
is another
Yeah,
one.
where people will see, they've seen a larger-than-life wolf, several UFO sightings, ghost sightings. So yeah, these are window areas. Sometimes window areas last. They're like permanent, and it seems like Skinwalker Ranch is one of those. And sometimes they kind of disappear, like what happened in Point Pleasant, West Virginia.
Well, that's kind of what I suspect for creatures like the Van Meter monster, Grafton, like some of these other bizarre cryptids. I suspect a goat man would be another one.
Yeah.
I suspect that they're like a temporary drift is opened, a temporary window is opened, and they're just kind of peering in for a little bit before returning.
Yeah.
So we're only getting a small glimpse into something else.
And speaking of Goatman, you guys are gonna have to help me out here. What there is? Am I pronouncing this correctly? Whiting, Indiana. Okay, Whiting, Indiana. So back in, I believe, I want to say this was in 2017. I interviewed a man named Adam, and Adam says that he was hanging out. He lived in Whiting, Indiana, and he was hanging out in this like abandoned industrial area with a buddy of his. And they were out there, they were smoking, and they were smoking, and he sees that in the distance was what he thought was a man that was watching them. And so they're like, well, this weird guy is watching us, but so, let's just ignore him. But then it just drew closer and closer. And he's like, man, the closer it's getting, it's not looking like a man. So once it got close enough where it was a few yards away, they realized that it wasn't a man, but it was a humanoid, goat-looking creature. And this is the goat man of Indiana. He's sighted in a couple different counties. We have a goat man in Wisconsin, a goat man in Illinois as well. So when they realized what they were looking at, I mean, it had it had the torso of a man, it had the head of a goat's, and it had the legs of a goat's. And it's when they realized and when their fear grew, this thing started charging at them. And they just bolted. And he said that they did not even look back. And they just kept going until they reached their car. And then when they did finally look back, when they got to their car, it was gone. Now, he believes, Adam says that he doesn't think that this creature actually wanted to actually harm them, because he said that it moved so fast that if it really wanted to catch up to them, that it could have. So it's the idea that this was probably Goatman's territory, and it just wanted them away from his territory, or her, right?
Now, I will say this doesn't mean the creatures aren't flesh and blood. Like, obviously, there's a lot of people that believe Sasquatch is an interdimensional being. There's the whole idea of the quantum Bigfoot. So, obviously there's a lot of evidence, like casts, hair samples, you name it, from Sasquatch. So there is a physicality to it, but it's possible that these beings are both physical and interdimensional at the same time, where they're able to pass. Um,
Which I think, and Rob and I have talked about this as well. I think that's really what's going on with Bigfoot, with Dogman, with Goatman. It seems like these things are interdimensional beings, but when we say interdimensional, it doesn't mean that they can't have flesh and blood. There are numerous stories of Bigfoot getting shot and letting out a yelp, but there's also stories where Bigfoot is getting shot and nothing happens to him or her at all. One of my favorite Bigfoot stories that really hits home with this interdimensional idea was a man. He was camping in the woods, and it was very deep in the woods. I forgot what state this was, but I know this was. I want to say it was like Washington, California. It was in the northwest U.S. I know that for sure. And so he was camping in the woods by himself, and he hears like rustling outside. And he thought, of course, that somebody was, trying like around his campground. So he was like being really cautious. And then the rustling got louder. And so he's like, okay, what the heck is going on? And he suspected that there was more than one person. So he like slowly unzipped his tents, and then he peered out. And sure enough, he sees these two 7-foot tall creatures with dark fur that was rummaging through his food. And his food was actually hanging off a branch. He intentionally had it that way because he said he didn't want bears to get to his food. So he had it hanging off a high branch, and these things were going through his food. And he made a noise while in his tent. And the two creatures, they looked at him. And when they looked at him, their feet disappeared. Then their legs disappeared. Then their torso disappeared. Then their arms disappeared. And finally, their heads disappeared. And when he still saw the rummaging of his food take place by these invisible beings now, and then they took his food. And he's like, for him, that was convincing enough where, oh, I get it. They're not from this world. They're from another world. Now, that gets a little complex. That may or may not be true. It's the idea that even if they are interdimensional, they're from another dimension, they could still be in this world, but in a different plane of existence. And I think that's really important to get into, the idea that we live in a multi-dimensional reality. And a lot of paranormal phenomena seep through other dimensions. What do you think about that, Rob?
Well, yeah, I mean, even if you look at ghosts, right, and the way they act with objects and people, there's a non-physicality to them up to a point. Eventually, there's some sort of poltergeist activity. There's some sort of, they're able to move objects, mess with people. We watched the footage of the baby, where there was a baby in a crib.
Oh, yeah.
And a dark mass formed. It slammed the door shut, and then it pushed a toy in the baby's crib, and then the baby got upset. So there's some sort of physicality to that mass, that entity, but it's not always physical. It dissipates,
Yeah, exactly.
It kind of disappears for a time being, but it can be physical during certain moments. It's clear there's a limitation to them. We just don't understand it. We don't understand the limits they have.
That story that Rob was just telling you about with the black mass appeared. I showed him that video. It's this alleged footage where it was
a baby in a crib.
Yeah, what do you
It
call
was
those
a baby
cameras?
cam, like a home camera, like one of those baby cameras where it's just to check in on your baby.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like from top down, so to a little bit to the side, and you hear these like footsteps walking up to the cradle, and all of a sudden it gets louder, then it stops, and then the door slams shut, a loud shut. And then you see this dark mass form behind it, and then it moves like a teddy bear or something
Yeah.
that the baby has, and then the baby gets upset.
Yeah, and like Rob said, like the way that it forms this black mass, it's really eerie. And now in this day and age, it's hard to believe a lot of videos that are out there online about paranormal videos, but obviously I don't know for sure if this one is legit as well, but I feel like it is because I've seen a lot of footage like this where this black mass forms just like it did in this video. And actually there is a famous case, and honestly I forgot where it's at, but there is a famous case where there was paranormal investigators, and this was back in the 80s, 90s, where they were doing it on film, and they're recording in one of the rooms, and you see the same, this black fog that just starts to manifest in the middle of the room. And it was the same footage. It was just like that. So
And you had the same thing happen. There was like a friend of yours that showed you a video of like two mirrors parallel to each
Yeah.
other. And they filmed for like 10 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Just about. And they time lapsed that, and you could see a dark mass forming. No one was in that room for 10 minutes, and a dark mass started forming in the mirror
right.
before dissipating.
Yeah, so Rob and I, we have a mutual friend named Lorelei, and she's a ghost hunter in Chicago. And she's been doing these experiments. And what she did is she got two mirrors and faced them together to create what's called an infinity mirror, where it's like, you guys could picture it, right? It's like mirror after mirror after mirror.
The idea is that the mirrors can open up portals. So that was the
Right.
whole reason why she was making them parallel to each other, was to kind of make a loop so that a portal would open up for an entity.
And what she did is she took out the regular light of her bathroom and she put in red light in her bathroom. And then she set her phone between the mirrors so she could record the infinity mirror and see if she gets anything. And then she closed the door, so she's not in the bathroom, nobody's in the bathroom, and she just leaves it recording for about 10 minutes. And then she got some footage. And she showed me the footage, and it's really eerie because like in the distance in the mirror, this black thing starts to form and it actually moves. So that actually got me. Like I was like, oh man, that was really good footage, right?
And again, we know this lady personally. We know that was too, and we know them personally that this wasn't fake. There's no way they could have faked this. We know this was an actual something that was forming. There's nothing it could have been mistaken for. It had to be something that was actually manifesting within the mirror itself. And it was also in the distance too, in the mirror. It wasn't like right there in front of the
Right.
camera. It was actually way further back in the reflections,
Yeah, that's
the
actually
infinite loop.
that's a good point. That actually is it should have been where you could see it in like all the mirrors of the infinity mirror, and you don't. You just see it in a specific mirror.
A specific section, a specific reflection.
Yeah, exactly. So that it's really eerie. So that just recently happened. So we want to actually start experimenting with mirrors as well and see what we get. It's really interesting, this idea of mirrors, that to say Bloody Mary multiple times in the mirror. She comes out. Native Americans have this idea that if you talk to your reflection in the water, you're actually talking to one part of yourself. So this is an ancient idea, right? So it seems like the ancients had knowledge that we're just discovering or haven't discovered yet. So Rob and I have been discussing this idea, and we really want to start experimenting with this stuff and see what we get from it, But I want to ask you guys, because I've done my research on this area, and but I'm not native to this area. So have you guys had any paranormal experiences here?
Anyone?
Anyone? Pat? We're going with Pat over here. I got to walk across the room.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I used to live in St. John, Indiana.
Okay.
And in yeah, let's hear it for St.
St.
John.
John.
Yeah. All right, Chuckstown. Okay, and there is a corner over there where there are shoes that magically appear every week. It's the shoe corner. And you see shoes of various different styles and decades. So you'll see shoes from like the 30s, and you might see one, you might see two, you might see 4 pairs of them. There's always shoes on this corner. No one ever sees someone throwing them out.
Wow.
And there is never.
Any Jordans?
What?
Any Jordans?
Yeah, there's been Jordans there too.
Nice.
So what the local police have been doing is collecting them each week and donating them to like a homeless shelter.
Okay.
But yeah, I can't explain why that happened, Jack. And you're the man who knows everything, so I want to
Oh, I
know
wish
what
I
your
did.
thoughts are.
I
on
wish
that.
I did. No, that's actually a really interesting urban legend. How about you guys over there? Any stories? Oh yeah, you do. Everybody has a paranormal story.
Over here? Nobody?
No one?
Over here? Maybe?
Heather?
She
Come
might,
on.
but maybe she'll tell it later. We don't know for sure. The night's still young. The shoes. Chuck, have you heard about the shoes? Those are Chuck shoes, I think.
But the Midwest is full of paranormal phenomena. I mean, there isn't a location in the U.S. that's more haunted than the tri-state, which is Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana. I mean, there are things that are just native to this area. Actually, Dogman sightings. Is there anybody here that's not familiar with Dogman? Because I feel like that's not true. You put your hand down, Pat. So if you don't know Dogman, basically Dogman is a werewolf. But we don't say werewolf because that's fictional. And Dogman, there's been actual werewolf sightings throughout the U.S., or actually throughout the world. And you could look into history, right?
Yeah. Well, we don't know 100% for sure, right? That the reason why we call them Dogman and not just werewolves is because we don't know 100% for sure that it's a person turning into a wolf-man hybrid. As far as we're concerned, it's a separate animal or entity that actually is a human-wolf hybrid. So that's why we kind of make the distinction between them.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. Yeah, yeah. See, Rob is good for something. All you guys
I'm glad
said.
I am.
All you guys said that he's useless. No, he's good for
Well,
some
you say
stuff.
that, but,
I do say that.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, but yeah, you don't get Dogman sightings you do get them here and there in the rest of the country, but really Indiana and Wisconsin, Illinois are like Dogman hotspots.
Right.
And yeah, we want to explore more of the Indiana territory for Dogman, for Goatman, and things like that. In the Chicagoland area, we have what's called Resurrection Mary, which is yeah, you guys know it, right? It's a vanishing hitchhiker ghost. So some guy will see a beautiful girl on the side of the road walking by herself and says, hey, I don't think you could get away with this nowadays, but ask her if she needs a ride home, take her home, but before they get to her house, she disappears. And her dress is white.
Mm.
It's always a white dress, Pat, you calm down, Pat. You're too wild right now. But I bring that up because the vanishing hitchhiker story is not just native to Chicago. There's several in Indiana. There's one local to here, Elizabeth Wilson. Allegedly, this woman drowned in a local swamp, and then people will see her ask for a ride, and then she gets in a car, and they go down Reader Road, and then she disappears before they get home. And people associate the ghost with this woman, Elizabeth Wilson. Like, it's not for sure that it's her, but because, you know, the drowning took place local to Reader Road, so that's the association there. Do you got any local stories, or do you have any? What's something that happens in the Chicagoland area that they experience in Indiana?
Well, I'm pretty sure there's
Oh, Bigfoot.
well, Bigfoot's everywhere. Bigfoot's
Yeah.
everywhere, all across the world.
Yeah.
You're always going to get Bigfoot.
Bigfoot gets
sightings.
around.
He gets around. So slightly different forms. Like I know Boggy Creek, he's got 3 toes, but most of the world he's got, you know, the 5. But obviously there's the big muddy monster in Illinois. I think they have
Yeah.
a big muddy festival now. But yeah, Beast of Bray Road. That's a big one. That's a big
Yes,
one.
yeah. Not
Linda Godfrey.
Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Not Bigfoot. That's Dogman. Yes.
That is Dogman. I believe that's another like portal that was opened, that kind of story. Because there were a lot of strange incidences on that strip of road.
Yeah. So Bray Road is in Wisconsin, and you know, during a span of a couple decades, people would see, you know, this werewolf or this Dogman creature, and there's not too many sightings nowadays.
No, there's not really anything anymore. There was one story I heard of a guy, I forget what job he was doing, but he would go to rural areas and they would drive through them. And he actually did drive through Bray Road, and he didn't know what Bray Road was. He didn't know the legend. He was just driving through, and he got out of his car. He was checking some sort of, what's it called? Remember, I hate to bring it up, but Halloween Ends, that where Michael's hiding. You know what I'm talking about? What are those called? The like the sewer kind of thing, but that opening.
Oh, wasn't it just a
Is it just a sewer? That's all it's called. There's nothing. What's it called? Culvert? Okay, yeah. So he was working in one of those, and he turned around and he saw the outline of a wolf. But it wasn't a normal wolf. It was upright. And now it was like a split second. He turned around. It was a little fuzzy, but he knew he saw something because when he whipped his head back around after he whipped it the first time, it wasn't there anymore. So he knew it wasn't branches. He knew it wasn't a bush. It wasn't a, you know, and it didn't look like a bear. It didn't look like anything else. It was some sort of canid. So that was probably the most recent sighting I'm familiar with. That was like probably, oh my gosh, maybe 5 years ago.
You know what I got from that story that you just said? Is you brought up Halloween Ends.
I'm sorry, I had to. That was
You
the
know,
only thing I
man,
could think of.
That's-
That's your favorite movie, you know? That's your
No,
favorite. That's the
it's
best
not.
one. You're going to watch it this year. I know it.
Who saw Halloween Ends?
Who survived?
No, don't woo Halloween Ends. It destroyed the franchise.
Well, you could argue there's a few others.
That's true.
There's a few others.
Okay, I'm in the minority that I think Halloween 6 is actually the best. Who said that? Get out. Get out. No, Halloween 6 is great.
I think it's Halloween 2.
Well,
Not the Rob Zombie, the other one.
yeah.
Where he's
Well,
in the-
it better not be the Rob Zombie.
He's in
one.
the medical. He's in the
Yeah.
hospital. He's going around.
I mean, I like that one a lot too, but
Oh yeah, Halloween 3. Yeah. No Michael, but that's a good
Oh,
one.
no.
I love that one.
oh no, actually, you know what? I kind of like Halloween 3. I do.
Well, Jack and I finally agree on something.
The reason why I like Halloween 6 is because they have the cults there. It's like that Michael Myers cult. Bob, you stop it. You put your hand down, Bob. that cult is awesome.
I do like the Cult of Thorn. I do think it's an interesting idea. Personally, I don't think it fit for Michael Myers, but
No, it
I
did.
did like the concept. No, it didn't fit.
Yeah, no, it
They
didn't
used
fit.
that as an excuse
Okay,
because
question
5.
though.
Yeah.
Producer's cut or director's cut?
Oh, director's cut.
Ooh. Oh, that's a good one.
I think director's cut.
That's a good
Producer's cut, there's the weird thing with his nephew. So I prefer the director's. The head explosion.
I
too.
agree,
The head
yeah.
explosion is that makes the movie.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I always wanted to do like a fan fiction of Michael Myers where you just like you elaborate on the cult. Anyway, I should probably stop with the cult. But yeah, Halloween 6.
he'll fight the Dog Man in the next one. That'll
he
be.
fights the dog.
He goes
man.
to Chicago. He fights the Dog Man.
It's so random.
That's gonna be the. Why not? Is it any more random than the last one?
Rob likes to come up with just like two characters that have nothing to do with each other and put them in a movie. Well, which is
We've
the
gone off the rails.
yeah, that Godzilla versus Jason Voorhees in space.
Now you get it. You get it.
But actually, our friend Bob over here, he did a presentation at my convention where he talked about the paranormal and horror films. And that's in itself is a really interesting topic because a lot of these writers of horror films, they get their ideas from real life experiences. Exorcist is a famous one, right? Where it's based on a true story, but it wasn't a young girl that was possessed. It was a young boy that was possessed. And so if you read the actual story, it's just as frightening as the movie, to be honest. What's another one?
Based on.
Yeah, a movie, horror film that's based on true events.
I mean, there's the Conjuring series.
That's not based
That's-
on true
Loosely. Yeah, it's the Conjuring.
You know what? I'm getting mad.
Yeah, Serpent in the
Oh,
Rainbow.
that's
That's
a
a
good one.
phenomenal. That's a phenomenal one. Yeah.
That's a really good one. So if you guys have not seen Serpent in the Rainbow, the film, it's based, so it stars Bill Pullman, right? Bill Pullman, who plays the president in Independence Day. And yeah, Serpent in the Rainbow is like this like descent into the world of voodoo in Haiti. And the man who was studying it, he actually, obviously voodoo is not, all evil like Hollywood depicts. Like there are a lot of voodoo practitioners. I have friends that are voodoo practitioners. But, just like everything else, there is a dark side to it, right? And so this researcher, he went down that road just as a researcher, not a practitioner. But he almost lost his life, a couple times. So if you get a chance to watch that movie, that's a really good movie. And it's based off a book, and the book is amazing as well. Admittedly, I haven't, finished the book, but I did get to about half of it. That's a great book. But yeah.
Yeah, it ties a lot into zombie lore too, because actually the movie, I don't know about the book, the movie explains the pufferfish, the venom,
Right.
and how that was used to slow the heart rate down, to trick people into thinking that this person died. And then when they reawakened them from the grave, it was like, oh, it's a dead person coming back to life.
Yeah.
And that was the origin of like the word zombie and where that whole mythology came from.
But explain that it's the idea that the puffer, like the person when they
Yeah,
come
so
back,
they
they're
would-
hypnotized.
So
Basically.
yeah, you'd like go to the voodoo priest. You'd ask him to like curse someone, right? Or maybe the voodoo priest wants to get revenge against someone, or something such as this. And so they would cast a spell on them, right? But really, the voodoo priest knew what he was doing. What he was actually doing was he was using different chemicals, especially a chemical from the I think it was like a venom from the pufferfish, and he would insert it or somehow slip it into a person's drink or something like that. And the person would, quote unquote, die, and they would check their heart rate. It slowed the heart rate down so much, you wouldn't be able to tell that they're alive, but they actually were. So people would think that they lost this person. They would bury the person, and then the priest would come back, dig the guy out, and bring him back and say, see, he's my slave now. And the person was drugged, and they saw they came out of the tomb, right? So they actually believe, the voodoo priest, that, oh, he's a slave now. He's a slave to this priest. And so that was something that they did for many, many years.
Yeah. So it should be noted, because you were saying the voodoo priests. Well, according to voodoo practitioners, that title wouldn't be accurate because those who practice zombification, They're actually called what Bokers, Bokor, Bokers. They are voodoo practitioners, but they are not members of the temple proper. So a voodoo priest is called a hungan, and a voodoo priestess, thank you, Rob. A voodoo priestess is called a mambo. So a boker is not part of a temple. A boker is kind of like a rogue, practitioner. But rogue doesn't necessarily mean that they've, gone down a dark path. It could mean that. A lot of times that is how it's used. But they also will use their practices, their rituals for good use as well. So, yeah. What happened with what's that one story with the zombification? There's a famous story in Haiti where he came back after many years, and he said, "Do you know about that one?" I forgot the
one are you talking
gentleman's
about?
name, but there is a famous voodoo zombie case where the family thought that this man was dead. He comes back years later, obviously alive, and he says that he's been a slave for the last couple years because he was zombified. He, was injected with the pufferfish poison, and he was basically in a hypnotic state these past couple years, and he had to do the Boker's bidding. So yeah, it's really interesting when you go down these different spiritual paths. And like I said earlier, Rob and I, we've been, going down into we've been interacting with a lot of religious groups.
Well, you got a reading at one point, and the lady told you that there were a lot of different forces at play. There were a lot of different entities that were trying to attach itself to you, but she meant it from a religious perspective.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, we've been going on a journey, like just looking at different religions, spiritualities, and trying to figure out, what they believe, how it connects, how they all connect to each other.
Yeah, what, Crystal? Why are you laughing? You want to say something? Do you need the microphone? She's always messing with me. Yeah, like Rob said, we've been going into all these different various temples, the Urantians, the Ayan temple,
Swedenborgians,
the
the
Swedenborgians, the Scientologists.
Well, maybe not that.
Well, I did. They actually kept me inside their center for 5 hours. I couldn't leave. That's a whole other podcast, though. So yeah, I mean, I just been collecting entities from each group I go
Like
to.
Pokemon, you're collecting them.
What happened?
You're getting a little ascended master from each one,
Yeah, yeah, like
You got
Pokemon,
cards,
right?
Yeah. You start trading them. You're gonna start having them fight each other,
Yeah, so I could attack people in different religions, right? Because I have all these spirits around me.
I guess theoretically, yeah.
Yeah, that works out. I like that. I'm building a little army.
That's right.
You know what I'm doing? I'm actually getting all these entities to get along with each other. It's like a
Shake
brother.
hands.
Shake hands. It's like a brotherhood of spirituality, right?
You're trying to get them into Scientology. That's,
Yeah, I'm trying.
That's
yeah.
what you're doing.
Just careful there, Rob.
Yeah.
Careful there. But one of the reasons why I do everything I do as a paranormal researcher is I really like people, and I really enjoy talking to people and getting to know them, on a personal level. And I don't think you could get on a more personal level than with sacred experiences, with these intimate sacred experiences in the paranormal. So a lot of times, well, Rob and I have talked about this.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
There's definitely a reality to a lot of these religions. Like all these people have different types of practices, different rituals that they perform. And it does seem like they are contacting something, or it's changing their perspective on things. And there's some sort of spiritual influence that's happening to a lot of these worshipers, followers. I mean, you even see this in some cults. But it's unclear, like, oh, is this just like a placebo psychological, I'm so sorry, a placebo psychological thing happening? Or is there actually something more happening, like an entity is communicating with them or contacting them, or they're feeding into an entity or creating one even?
As you could see, Rob is more of the skeptic over here. No, it's important to be skeptical. I am kind of too, honestly. Like, I question a lot in the paranormal, but when you're interviewing people, all you could do is take what they say at face value. I think any good researcher will do that, because I'm not about necessarily debunking or blindly believing either. What I'm trying to do in the paranormal, and I think Rob is as well, is that we're collecting experiences, we're collecting stories, and we're trying to put these puzzle pieces together. And I think the paranormal is really important, because when you put these puzzle pieces together and you kind of figure out, like, or at least try to figure out what's going on, it'll help you understand the world better. It helps you understand reality better. And when you could understand the world around you, you could understand people. And when you understand all of that, you could understand yourself. And I think that's why it's really important I think paranormal research is really important, because you're trying to understand yourself. I think that's ultimately what's going on in the
I mean, it really
paranormal.
does come down to understanding yourself and basically the meaning of life and the afterlife, like what to expect.
Yeah.
Who was it that said, there was a big paranormal guy that said death is basically what we're researching when we're researching the paranormal.
Oh, his name is Mike Clelland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the most accurate descriptions of it, because
Yeah.
ultimately it does come to death. I mean, even when you look at like aliens, and this is a whole other topic, but like aliens and NDEs, near-death experiences, there's a connection there between the two. So it always goes back to the afterlife.
There are many researchers that talk about this, that there is a connection between alien abductions, alien abductions, near-death experiences.
Sometimes even cryptids.
Yes,
There have been some sightings of Sasquatch and UFOs. Now it's unclear if is it coincidence. That's possible, but it does seem, especially if there's an interdimensional component to Sasquatch, then it is reasonable that there's a connection between the UFOs and the or UAPs you would call them now, and Sasquatch.
So what they say is that there is an initiation process that takes place during these events. People tend to change after these events. Sometimes their behavior is altered, even slightly. Their behavior is altered. Sometimes after these events, they come back with psychic ability, whether it's precognition or telekinesis or telepathy. Sometimes it's the idea that there is a metaphysical death and rebirth. And that's why these people, they come back differently, because all of this connects to what they call the death ritual. Like the researcher Mike Clelland, who wrote a book called The Messengers. He talks about this. It's something that I've been delving into lately, and I don't quite have the intelligence to fully, convey what they're trying to say, but I think I'm getting there. We
Yeah.
talked a little bit about it before on a podcast, I remember.
Yeah, I know
But-
you've been researching more him. Of course, and we don't have to go into it because it's really dense, but I've been researching more Swedenborg's angle, because he was kind of like a long-term near-death experiencer.
Yeah. Well, tell us a little bit about Swedenborg.
Well, he was a mystic from the 17th, 18th century. He claimed to have seen Jesus, Moses. There's a lot to this guy. It's very dense.
Yeah, keep it like a summary.
Yeah, so I got to really simplify here. But he claimed to be in contact basically with angels and demons. Now, it was, so he wrote a spiritual diary, and he went into detail on his daily occurrences speaking with these beings. And eventually he was allowed, he claimed, into heaven and hell. And he described the death process and how you die. When you pass, you basically become a ghost and go into a purgatory kind of state in this world called the spirit world. Spiritus Mundus, I believe he calls it. And you can stay there for about 30 years. You can meet other people that are deceased and kind of go through your life, decide who you are.
But so basically, he wrote several volumes of his experiences in the other side.
Well, yeah, even more than 7.
No, several, I said.
Well, he also, Arcana Celestia, Heaven
Yeah.
and Hell. I mean, there's even more experiences in those than just his spiritual diaries.
So basically, his experiences on the other side, and keep in mind, he didn't have like a near-death experience. Like he was, like he fully alive and everything.
Yeah, he didn't have a
just-
light review. He didn't have a noise. There was a
No.
lot he didn't have. But there are a lot of similarities between what he experienced and what near-death experiencers
Right,
experienced.
there's an overlap there.
And that's why I actually think he's so interesting, is because this guy was from how many centuries ago, and he's describing near-death experiences all the way back then, and he doesn't even realize it. The term that wasn't coined until Raymond Moody wrote his book.
So after all these centuries of studying near-death experiences, UFOs, ghostly activity, what we could come away with right now is that a lot of it is connected. And I think that's the beauty of the paranormal, that everything is connected. It sounds so new agey, so woo-woo, but honestly, I think it's true. Like everything is connected. And I think that's probably one of the most beautiful things about the paranormal. That's why it's so important to study it, to put the pieces together, to try to fit in all the puzzles. Because once we realize that everything is connected, like you want to treat others better, and
Right.
you want to treat the world better, because everything is alive, everything is vibrant.
Everything's connected to each other, so why would you
Yeah.
want to harm other entities or things, because
Yeah.
they're connected to you?
Right, exactly. It's paranormal phenomena is religion without religion, right?
I guess I would say it's a secular perspective on religion.
There you go. Yeah, that's
Yeah, it's looking at it from an anthropological perspective. It's just a different angle looking at, like the Baha'is, they have their own, and I'm not going to go into it, but they have their own theology on
Yeah.
how all the religions connect. This would be like that, but we're looking at it more secular. We gotta go.
But what Rob is saying, we have a background in anthropology. I have my degree in anthropology, and I try to take an anthropological approach in the paranormal. So that means what I do is I take a holistic approach. I try to take in the psychology, the spirituality, the subjective experience, the objective experience, and put it all together. And I'm glad to come out here and share all that with you guys. I think we both are really grateful for this.
Yeah.
And we're grateful for you guys coming out here and listening to us talk about nonsense. But I really appreciate it. And guys, thank you so much for this. And
Thank
let's
you.
thank Bob Anderson. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Oh, there we go. Give it up. Channeling Chavez, Jack and Robert right now. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Once again, thank you guys. Good job. I'm on the live of Jack's live there. Hey. Once again, thanks Club Cuyahoga for having us out here tonight. If you haven't visited the vendors, please check them out. They got some great stuff to sell and to look at, so please check the vendors out tonight. There is the cash bar still open, of course, throughout the night. Right down the hall to the right, the cash bar. And thanks all for coming. $5 only entry, and all goes to Extra Life charity for Lurie's Children's Hospital. So give yourselves a hand. Fantastic. Bob's giving me hand symbols right there. Hey, okay. And we still got some folks I know on their way coming here tonight, so they'll be in the doors very soon. And thanks again, Chuck Pullen, for doing all our tech tonight. But next up, we got a great podcast coming up. Coming up, guys, we got Pat and Rebecca from the Ghostly Podcast. Of course, follow all these great podcasts, Channeling Chavez on all social media platforms and podcasting platforms, as well as the Ghostly Podcast, which very interesting dynamic Pat and Rebecca have. One a skeptic, one a believer, but together they create podcast magic. So give it up for Pat, Rebecca, Ghostly Podcast. And they got a sign.
All right, well, I want to thank everyone. Thank you guys so much for having us. Thank you, Bob, for having us. I also want to talk about Jack Chavez that was just up, channeling Chavez. Jack, I always consider him the man that knows everything. So the difference between us and Jack is we come to you with a script. We know what we're going to talk about. Jack he just talked. Like I asked him beforehand, what are you going to talk about? He didn't know. He just talked. That's what his power is. Yeah. He can just he's been on our show before where I've just asked him random questions out of nowhere, like what kind of cryptids are in this area? What kind of things are in this area? He will just start going. He doesn't need to know ahead of time what we're going to talk about. But we are not like that.
No, and you kind of threw me off there because the music ended and you didn't say the famous words.
It's coming, but I have to do some business first.
I don't know. Okay, well, we also need to shout out Club Cayuga for having us here
absolutely,
tonight.
absolutely,
Thank you so
we do.
much.
Thank you guys.
Amazing. What
Yeah,
a
this is a
great
really nice
space.
place.
Oh my gosh.
But before we get this party started, and we did come to party, so I hope you guys did too. We have to take a little poll of our audience. This is what we do every time we do a live show. Who here believes in ghosts?
Woo! It's a sound of applause.
All right, so
please.
there's
There
applause
you
works
go.
best for this.
Yes.
So about 3 people or so. Where are my skeptics at?
I don't, you
There's
picked-
10
you
of
picked
them.
the
There's
wrong crowd,
there's
I think,
double, triple the
today.
amount. And there's hundreds of people here though. So welcome to Ghostly, the podcast that puts the paranormal on
is.
trial.
Every 2 weeks, I Unearth a chilling ghost story, tracking down the legends, eyewitness accounts, and all of the history behind the hauntings.
And I, your friendly neighborhood skeptic, get to tag along to poke holes in her theories. My job is to find the logical explanation, the creaky floorboards behind the ghostly footsteps.
But always, as always, in the end, it's not up to us to decide if something is haunted. It's up to you, the listeners, the watcher, the live folks here tonight. So we will ask you to weigh the evidence and let us know tonight if you think it's haunted.
Yeah, but before we summon the spirits today, make sure to hit subscribe if you guys are watching on YouTube there, or follow us wherever you can. It's the best way to make sure that you never miss one of our spooky tales.
And as always, we're your hosts.
I'm Pat.
And I'm Rebecca. All right. So we're going to turn the light. Well, we're not going to actually turn the lights down because we're on video, but we're gonna bring you 2 different stories, different from each other stories tonight. I'm excited.
Yeah, so before we do that though, when Bob asked us to come out and do this, we were on board from the very second he started talking. We are always here to support Bob, but we always want to give back to the community whenever we can. We're very proud of the work that Bob has done. He asked us to join us, and we were totally on board from the very second he opened his mouth.
Absolutely.
So.
And the sometimes scaring is caring is a cool idea, and we're not done with it, right? We're gonna keep it going, right? No, it's a because people that scare, we also care.
Yeah. We scare you and care about you too. So, all right. So
we got to get in this.
Yeah, we're gonna start you guys off with one of our favorite stories of all time, I would say.
Yes.
The Sausage King. So, who is the Sausage King of Chicago?
Not Ferris Bueller.
Yeah.
Abe Froman. There it is. It's Abe Froman, right?
Yeah, no, it's not, but I did hear the correct answer there. It is Adolf Ludgrid. So Abe Froman is a fictional character. Let's talk about this. There are fictional things. By the way, I just want to say one thing, too, about the Mothman sightings. All of us here have seen Mothman today because there he is right there.
Yep.
Mr. Bob Anderson.
It is.
Okay, so on the 1700 block of West Diversey Parkway in Chicago, there was once a factory. This factory was owned by a guy named Adolf Ludgrid. He was a sausage king of Chicago, and you know, being from Chicago, that's not a title that we take lightly. You know, if you're the sausage king of Chicago, right, you have to bring the sausage, I guess. On May 1st, 1897, the sausage king's wife, I don't know if that makes her the sausage queen, I don't know, but she disappeared. The king being the main suspect then, because it's always the spouse. Yeah. But they found some bone fragments and a ring with the queen's initials on it in a vat in the factory.
A fat vat had
Had the remains of the queen.
bones and a ring found inside.
Well, okay, we think it's the queen. We're going to talk about that, though.
All right.
The police arrested the king, and a trial took place. This case was one of the first trials that was widely covered by the media. Newspapers from Chicago would report on it daily, and some of them would try to eavesdrop on the jury deliberations.
He was OJ before
Yeah.
OJ.
Literally, I mean, at the time, the case was called the celebrity case, and it is credited for putting murder trials in the media. The case also was one of the first to use forensic experts to solve a crime. So before that, there was no forensics. People just was like, I don't like that person. They're guilty. The king, so the police arrested the king and took him in, though. So the king himself seemed to go crazy then after this all happened. He was found guilty, both before and after being convicted and sentenced to Joliet Prison. You guys heard of Joliet Prison before? Yeah, okay. Yeah, there you go, Blues Brothers. So he apparently was seeing ghosts there because during the investigation, he loudly accused the police of hiring ghosts to scare him. So a neighbor and witness, Agatha Touche, what a name, Touche, even had to swear in court that she never dressed up as Louisa, which was the queen, and ghost, as a ghost, and walked the hallways of the factory. That's how crazy he went. And he didn't last long, though, in prison, as the Sausage King himself could not stop fate and died of heart disease. How fitting a disease for
we could've
somebody that
predicted
is
that
called
one.
the Sausage King to die of heart disease. I mean, this is one of my favorite stories, though, because of that.
Yeah. So, I mean, now you mentioned there as part of your history at the trial, right, that someone actually had to go and say, they had to testify and say, no, like the police didn't hire me to come and act as the ghost of your wife and haunt you in the prison.
Yeah, I did mention that. That was me.
So that is one of the ghost haunting sightings that is associated with the Sausage King. So the king's stay at the Old Joliet prison was short but terrifying. Adolf claimed that Louisa had followed him to the prison to exact her revenge on him. Guards reported that he was often babbling incoherently to himself. He professed to other prisoners that he was possessed by the devil and confessed that the devil made him kill his wife.
I think that's the cholesterol doing it. I mean, it's got to be, right?
And he quickly became insane with Louisa's persistent haunting and calling on him. He died in his cell of a heart attack in 1900. And some people speculate that maybe her ghost is who caused his death. Maybe scared him. I mean, it was probably the sausages, but
Yeah.
it may have been Louisa. Now, really quickly, before I've got a couple other ghost stories, but
Well, I mean,
Do
I
you
would like to
think-
say something, though, before you do that, because if you have so much protein in your system, I think that could make you go,
Ghost
go
insane?
go ghost crazy. I think that's one of the symptoms of it.
I don't know. There's a lot of people that
overdose of
eat
protein.
keto and don't see ghosts everywhere. So I don't
But
know
he's the
about
king, though. I mean, they're not the kings. They're just peasants eating that way. He's the king.
that. I don't know if I believe
Okay.
that. Now, here's one thing, too. Do you believe that he killed his wife?
Oh, okay, so here we're going to get into some stuff. Okay, so there are reports that on the day after Louisa, the queen, went missing, that someone that resembled her was seen getting on a ship to go to Europe with a lot of luggage. And she had a lot of money with her, too, at that time. So I believe that the Sausage King is innocent. His only crime is delicious bratwurst.
I don't believe it. He was haunted by her ghost. Yeah. Well, let's keep going. So now
Okay.
the building where the murder supposedly happened, or the destruction, I don't know, the vat, right, on Diversey, still exists as an apartment building. Or condos, right? It still exists in Chicago, and the basement of that building is a particular area for ghostly, ding ding ding, activity, even today. So eventually, after years of different owners, a family purchased it for a good price because so many people had reported it being haunted throughout the years that it was hard to use the building. In the 1940s, one member of the family reported that he would regularly hear footsteps going up and down the stairs to the basement where her body was boiled. What do you think?
So, I mean, yeah, I know that they found like remains, but also Adolf had dogs. And those dogs disappeared during this time as well. And also, too, yeah, she did have a ring that had her initials on it. But if she was staging her own death, wouldn't that be really fitting to throw that ring into the vat as well with some bones? And as I said, forensic science was not really a thing at this point. It was just starting to be used.
There you go. Well, all right. Our last ghost story for the Sausage King is actually at their home. So the Lutgard house is still standing. And not long after her husband was sent to prison, her ghost was also seen not just at the jail, but at the house itself. Neighbors claimed to see a woman in a white dress. There it
Always
is.
the white dress.
Always the lady in white, right? Leaning against the fireplace mantle. Eventually, the house was rented out, but none of the tenants stayed there long. The place became an object of fear, the yard overgrown, and was basically deserted after a while. I think now it's probably a little better, but it's basically been considered haunted ever since.
Okay, but I think it was the queen that was by her mantle. I think she came back from Europe to pick up something that maybe her ring that had her initials on it, she wanted to pick it up and bring it to Europe with her. So, I mean, it was
I don't
shortly
know.
thereafter.
I can't imagine that happening. But all right, so who here thinks that the ghost of Louisa, the Sausage King's queen, haunts this earth? Anybody think she's still around? Panic says yes.
Panic
Oh,
does.
we
Okay.
get another
we have
yes
two
over
people.
there.
So who here thinks this is total just whatever? We have Jack Chavez, Mr. Jack Chavez.
Wow, all
We
right.
have-
We got
we
a
have a few
Ghostbuster. Wow,
I
it's a
think-
split audience.
I think the skeptics win on this.
I don't know.
The tie always goes to the skeptics, though.
All right, well, we've got another story. This is our big one tonight. And you did a search, right, for like haunted Indiana?
Yeah.
Because we knew we were coming to Indiana.
Yeah.
And you found this.
I found this one, and I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it, the Willard Library. Anybody heard of it?
Oh,
Okay, a couple
yeah, all
people.
right.
Yeah, okay.
It's about how far away?
It's about 4.5 hours away. Maybe
Yeah.
it's in Evansville, Indiana, but it is an Indiana one, so I figured
this
that's
sounds like a
fitting.
good day trip to me.
Yeah. So this isn't just the story of an old building, the Willard Library. It's a tale of a radical vision, a race against time, and a bitter family feud that echoes to this day. So let's talk about Willard. The Willard Library begins with its founder, Willard Carpenter. So it was actually his first name. We actually know someone named Willard, which is a weird name, I think, to have.
And it's a
but
woman.
it's
so
a woman,
I
yeah.
guess could go either way on the name.
this is
Yeah.
not a woman. This was.
But
a man,
yeah, it's not the Carpenter Library. It's his first name.
Yeah.
All right.
So in the mid 1800s, Carpenter was one of Evansville's wealthiest men. But he was also a passionate progressive. He was a fierce abolitionist before the Civil War. His own home was a confirmed stop on the Underground Railroad, and he believed deeply that education was a right and not a privilege. In 1876, he decided to use his fortune to build a library, but he had one non-negotiable rule. It had to be for the free use of all persons, of all classes, races, and sexes. In an era of deep segregation, this was a revolutionary and controversial demand. He was seen not as a hero in those days. People kind of spoke out against that. Construction on the stunning Victorian Gothic building began in 1877, but disaster struck. An economic depression halted the project for 5 years. The library sat as nothing but an unfurnished foundation. Work finally restarted in 1882. Carpenter, now being 80 years old at that time, was desperate to see his dream finished.
Okay, so he started the building before he passed.
Yes, he did.
Okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
He was at the site daily, supervising the workers and pushing the project forward, but tragically, he lost his race. Willard Carpenter died in 1883. He never saw his library open. But when Carpenter's will was read, this is when some family feud started then. His family was shocked. He had left almost his entire massive fortune, not to his children, but to the library. His daughter, another Louise Carpenter, was furious.
I mean, I get it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Like, I couldn't even get a little bit.
Yeah, he didn't even mention anything to her. It was just during the reading of the will that this came out. She immediately filed a lawsuit against the library's trustees, claiming that her father was of unsound mind. She was determined to break the will and claim the inheritance that she felt was rightfully hers. The legal battle was bitter and dragged on, threatening the library's very existence before it even opened. In the end, the library won. The court upheld Willard Carpenter's will. And on March 28, 1885, Willard Library finally opened its doors, fulfilling its founder's vision. It stands today as Indiana's oldest public library building, a monument to a man who was decades ahead of his time. And that bitter lawsuit, it's the true historical origin of the library's famous legend. Many believe that the angry spirit of Louisa Carpenter, cheated out of her inheritance, never truly left the building. So on Ghostly, we do a debate. So we thought we would give you guys a taste of our debate.
Yeah.
Rebecca,
Well,
do you have anything?
I was just going to say, before I get into some of the specific stuff, but it's a beautiful library. If you haven't seen it, I mean, this is not like you're thinking of like your little local library, whatever. Like, no, like it's more like almost like a university library to me.
Yeah.
Like it's big, it's beautiful, multiple stories. Just yeah, it's a great looking place online, and I can't wait to see it someday.
It's purdy.
It yes, very much.
It's purdy.
And it like it's one of those places that it's not just locally known to be haunted. It's actually been officially acknowledged for decades. And if you haven't yet seen it, it has actually multiple 24-hour ghost cams.
Yeah, didn't you say there was like 6 of them?
There's like 6 cameras all throughout
pointed
the library.
at this building at all
and
times.
they started at first, they just did it for like 2 weeks at like Halloween time. It was so popular, they crashed it was back in the
servers.
early days of the internet, so like it couldn't handle it. But it was so popular, so they just decided to keep it up. It's 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. You can go on there yourself. And
By the way, please don't leave us on YouTube to go visit them right now. Wait till after we're done
till
with
after the
this,
show.
and after Bob
and
is
after
done,
Bob
please.
is done.
Yes.
But then go check it out, and then people report back all the stuff that they see. So I don't know, it's really cool. But the famous ghost is not the lady in white, it's the gray lady.
The gray lady.
Yes, the gray lady.
So it's dirty white. That's what you're saying. It's dirty white. Oh, great.
Oh,
Great.
oh, Pat. All right. The legend begins in 1937, the ghost part. When a janitor was making his nightly rounds, he saw a woman in a long gray dress standing near the basement water fountain. Her face was hidden behind a veil, and when he stepped closer, she faded into thin air. He was so shaken he never worked nights again. So that was the first report of a ghost. So it's been going since 1937. So what do you think about his story? Before I know this isn't the official evidence part yet, but that is kind of like the founding story. So I'll give you a chance.
Has
to
anybody
share
here ever
something.
worked nights?
All right, we had
couple
some
people.
hands up there.
How many of you guys wanted to keep working nights? Did anybody want to go to days? A couple people wanted to go to days. So that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say he used this in order to work days instead of working nights because he never worked another night again.
I don't.
So-
Okay. All right. It's 1937. Even today, like there hasn't been previously mentions of ghosts at this place. So he's going to just like make up a story about a ghost?
Yeah. Why not?
I don't know. People are going to think you're crazy.
Me?
No, him.
Because I'm skeptical about it. They're gonna think I'm
No,
crazy.
because of him. Or
yeah,
because
well-
I mean, back then, I don't know. I don't know if that's like a smart thing to share that.
I mean, I think it was because it worked.
Well, I don't. Okay.
I mean,
May-
that's
well, maybe
proof
he lost
is in the
his
pudding,
job.
right?
Maybe we don't know.
Okay.
All right. Well, okay. Let's so, since that sighting, right? Countless visitors have reported seeing the Gray Lady through the children's room in the basement. Some say that she is, as you mentioned, Louise Carpenter, the founder's daughter, bitter over her inheritance. But others say it's a former librarian, which might explain kind of the time difference into when it started. Okay, so we're going to start with another older story. In the 1940s, a staff member, and this continues to this day, caught the scent of lilac perfume. And I am saying this in a room of people, well, there are Ghostbusters here. In
There
case you
are,
were
yes.
wondering where that library scene was inspired by, I would not be surprised if it was partly because of the hauntings at this library.
I'm
She
sure they
saw-
could tell you where it was inspired from.
I know.
I'm sure if we had Bob with a microphone right now, he would tell you exactly where that's inspired from.
I can't, I would not be surprised. Saw a gray figure drift past the shelves, and then every card catalog drawer slammed shut at once.
Because of the Dewey Decimal System.
Okay. This has happened multiple times since then. Maybe not always all three at the same time, but the figure, the card catalog drawer slamming, and the smell of lilac perfume are common occurrences. So let's take them one at a time. What do you think about the lilac perfume?
Yeah, so interesting. We were at a cemetery once, Bluff City Cemetery in Elgin.
Which is
And
beautiful.
We
You
were
should
on a
definitely- It is
tour.
a city.
Yeah. We were on a tour there, and I was walking with the tour guide. It was just me and the tour guide at that particular time. Everybody else was a good distance away from us. And as we turned a corner, this is winter too, by the way. and I
Yeah, this
like,
was wintertime,
it's like,
not
I
middle of
smell
summer.
like lilacs. This is really weird. And he did too, for a second, and then it was gone, and nobody else smelled it. And it's kind of hard for me with that particular story because of the lilac that I smelled, and I smelled it myself. But I'm going to say that a old library building like this, I'm sure there's been a lot of frequent guests that have lilac perfume on, that it might have, lingered a little bit in the room. And they saw a gray figure drift past the shelves. Okay, so you said that this is a common occurrence that happens.
Yes,
So I'm expecting to see lots of pictures and videos
there
of
are.
this.
There are.
Well, you didn't bring me any though, so I can't see them. So until I can see them, I can't buy into this story. So we usually rate our stories. We usually rate the evidence between 0 to 10. 0 being not at all haunted for me. Rebecca never is given a 0. 10 being the most haunted thing ever. I've never given a 10. So I'm going to go 0 on this one. I think that
What about the
it's-
card catalog doors slamming shut
Oh, they do that sometimes.
on their own?
Yeah, that's in all libraries. No, I just think that I don't like. I have not seen this, so I don't know. Do you have video of that happening?
I don't know if I saw anything with the card catalog
Yeah.
one, but there are some.
Great figures.
There might be one of the card catalog too. Yeah. Again, these they run 24/7.
Yeah. So you would
People
think
see
that
stuff.
they have a lot of it, so then
And
that's
they
proof that there
do.
are ghosts, and then we don't need to have this podcast
This is what I'm
ever
saying.
again.
This is why
Because obviously they've scientifically proven that there's ghosts, right?
Well, I'm gonna give I give it 8 with this one because there's a
okay.
lot. All right, let's talk about the.
Wait, hold on. What do you guys think?
Oh
do you
yeah,
guys
yeah,
think
yeah.
that
What do you guys think? Do you
there
think
is a woman in
there's
gray
wandering
drifting?
the halls of Willard Library? 9 from
We
Jack.
have a 9 from Jack.
Wow. Now Sylvia over there, she seems to know the story. She's talking to somebody right now, but I'm curious what she thinks because she seemed to know the story.
Well,
What do you think? Would you say do you think the gray lady haunts the Willard Library?
seen
She's
pictures.
seen
I
the
have not.
pictures.
Rebecca didn't present them to me, so I have to go with evidence on hand. What I can see is what I go by, and my computer screen doesn't have these pictures on it. So
All right, all right. Don't worry, it wouldn't have mattered even if I included the pictures, everybody, just so you know. Okay, let's talk about the elevator, because I found a
Okay.
couple interesting stories about the elevator. So a former custodian got on the elevator on the first floor early one morning and pushed the button to go down, but nothing happened. He tried a couple more times, but nothing worked. Frustrated, he said out loud, "I want to go down," and that worked. So we're going to stop there. There's more coming later, but that's the first elevator
Okay.
story. So he was in the elevator, it wasn't working. He said, "I want to go down," and all of a sudden it worked. What do you think?
I don't know. I've been on a lot of elevators that are a little funky. I don't know if you guys have. I've known people that actually have fears of elevators that won't get on an elevator, and I've seen them walk up several flights of stairs because of it. I feel bad for them. I take the elevators, and I've had really bad experiences. I was trapped in an elevator once.
I was in an elevator that fell down. Like did the thing where the emergency thing had to stop
Well,
it from slamming.
Did you tell it that you want to go down?
No,
Oh, okay. Well,
it was a bad building. It was they did replace the elevators after that.
yeah. So I'm thinking this is a faulty elevator. That's all.
No.
It was just a coincidence that he said, "I want to go down." And by the way, we're believing this person, this custodian, that won't even give his name to the story.
Well,
He's just
that just
a
wasn't in
former
the
custodian.
article I read. All right, so what do you give it then?
So far, a 0.
Okay, all right. I'm going to give that one a 6. We'll see. Okay, next one. A library assistant, shortly after she was hired, decided to introduce herself to the ghost while working alone in the adult services floor. She nicely explained to the gray lady that she didn't like to be scared, and if the ghost would like to make herself known to her, it could be expressed in non-scary ways. So she's like, "Please let me know if you're here, but please
like
don't
Casper.
scare me." Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So shortly after, the elevator door opened and no one was coming out. So the library assistant went over to the elevator thinking there was somebody inside who maybe needed assistance to get out of the elevator. Once she approached the open elevator, no one was there. What made this particularly startling is that the call light for the elevator was lit, and that button only lights up when it has been pushed. And she didn't push it, she didn't see anybody push it. So the library assistant said that she felt this was the gray lady ghost complying to her request and welcoming her to the staff, but not too scarily.
Oh, okay. So I wonder if she called anyone to service this elevator, right?
No,
Because-
they did check out the elevator.
And the elevator was okay?
Yeah, the elevator was
So
okay.
I just think this is a faulty elevator. I think that that's what they need to do is call somebody and have somebody come out and do what they do to it, service it. They maintain these elevators every year or so. That's why you see the little sticker on the elevator that says it was inspected on such and such date.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, it's been inspected, and
Yeah.
they didn't find anything.
Well, I just love how we jump to it's got to be a ghost because there was an elevator that opened up and no one was there. And we don't say that it could be a faulty elevator, which makes a lot more sense. I think we got to use logic here and say that I'm going to give this one a 0 for this one.
Oh,
too.
this one I'm definitely giving an 8. I think this one seems super spooky.
Would you give it an 8?
An 8.
Okay,
yeah.
so you're at all 8 so far.
Yeah, I know I had a 6
Oh, you had
for
a
the
6,
first
okay.
other elevator story. All right, so now I do want to talk about the ghost cams. These are 24/7, as I said. They live stream all the time. They've been running for over 2 decades. So there's been enough interest in the ghost cams for Willard Library to keep going for over 20 years. And the cameras are pointed at the children's room, the basement hallway, and the main stacks. Over the years, thousands of visitors have claimed to capture misty shapes. So I don't know that they see as much like a ghost like you see in the movies, the gray lady ghost, but they do see misty shapes.
Misty shapes.
Yeah, what do you think about that? We'll just stop there and see how that goes.
I think someone's been drinking a little bit. You seen misty?
They're
That's the
sitting
only
at
time I've
home
ever seen misty shapes is
watching-
when I was drinking a little bit.
Well, they also
By
will
the way, kids,
describe.
drinking is not good for you. Okay.
Oh,
Just so
wow.
you know.
We're in a bar. It's fine. And then they also say shadowy figures
Okay.
and your favorite glowing orbs.
Okay.
So
So-
those are just like, we'll just leave those and see what you say about that.
Okay, so first of all, let's talk orbs, right? So orbs are all made up stuff. They are, and Bob is giving me thumbs up. He agrees with me. Orbs are dust on the camera lens. Yeah, like Bob's saying. It's also bugs or something like that. There's also a lot of other reasons why people might capture orbs. I know photographers, have talked to several photographers about it. They all will say the same thing, that they have pictures that they just discard because they have something in it, and it's obviously something that they need to clean a lens or something with. So orbs, I never trust orbs. And
Okay.
then
And then shadowy figures.
shadowy figures. So as you know, we did an episode on shadow people, and I invited the shadow people to follow me.
Not smart.
And since then, I have seen a couple more shadow people than
This is okay. So this, just so you know, the skeptic of Ghostly has had more paranormal things happen to him than I, the believer, have, and I've had
maybe
a
more
few.
than Jack. I don't know.
I mean, we've heard him talk about 2 tonight, right? Smelling the lilacs and that he sees shadow people, but yet
I
he
have
remains.
seen shadow people. I
a
don't
skeptic.
currently see shadow people. I see Mothman, but I don't see shadow people. I mean, okay, so I just think that that's a trick of our mind, right? I think a lot of times you might feel like someone's watching you, and then you look over and it's like, oh, I just caught a glimpse of something. But I think it's our minds playing tricks on us.
Just so you know that doesn't happen.
It does. It happens to me all
everybody.
the time. Especially since I invited them to follow me. No, I don't believe in it. It's a scary phenomenon, but I don't believe in it.
All right. No, I didn't get this. I didn't write it up, but I did want to mention this, and I was going to include the video of this, but I'm like, how do we watch the video while we're talking about stuff? But there is a video they just recorded in April of this year
Okay.
in the more like a back area of the library. So it's more like a security cam. Like I don't think it was one of the 24/7 ones, but it was like there's a door that's like a fire exit. So this is not a door that like typically opens or whatever, and it locks, at night. So overnight, the door, you can see it pushes open, not all the way open,
Okay.
but more than just like a little bit. Like it's not like it's just like, like it opens and then closes. This is
Okay.
a heavy door. You can tell this is not like the wind opening this door. At least
Says you.
says me.
Well, I mean, maybe the door wasn't locked that night, and they're used to having the door locked. Obviously, they would have the door locked for a reason, right? Is it for people
well, I mean,
coming in?
right. Yeah, I mean, it's
Or maybe-
overnight. They
maybe
don't want
they
people
just
coming in
always-
that door.
Maybe they just always lock it because it always seems to open when they don't. Like, it's just one of those doors.
I don't
And
know.
Maybe maybe the library's on an angle or something. I don't know the full story of this. I have never been to this library, unfortunately, so I don't know.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I thought it was pretty compelling evidence for that one.
All right.
Um,
So I'm
and
going to give that one a 0.
A 0. All right. All right. Well, there's one other thing is there was a time, there has been several times where the alarms go off, but there's nobody in the library, and when they come to investigate, they find nothing.
Yeah, because they have a live stream. That's all they have to do is turn on the live stream. They don't need to go there and check it out. They can just see, oh, nothing's going on there.
Yes, but then
It's the
who
ultimate
or
security
what
system.
is setting off the alarms?
You know, who knows? It could be a lot of different things that set off the alarm, that trigger the alarm. I mean, I don't know how the alarm is situated, so I have not studied their mechanics behind their alarm, Rebecca.
All right.
But I'm figuring that there is a lot of different electrical reasons why the alarm can go off. There's also things that could happen, like maybe there is wind and it pushes a book over or something. Maybe it could be motion sensing. It could, you know, or maybe the light slightly, because it's getting darker or it's getting lighter outside, it adjusts the light in the room and the alarm picks that up from the motion detector. I don't know. There could be a lot of different reasons why. But because there could be a lot of different reasons, I'm going to give this one a 0.
All right. This one,
Surprise.
I'm going to be honest, like this is one of those where it's been so many repeated occurrences that have happened over all of these years. I mean, it's going to be almost 100 years that this place has had ghost sightings. I mean, another 10 years, right? So 90 years
But I
we've had
mean-
ghost sightings. So, and yeah, man.
But why haven't they just said, you know, okay, scientists have studied the footage of this place. They can see the live streams of it. I wonder if they even record the live streams or just have it play live, you know, and they don't really
Well,
care
people
about.
do record some of it. But,
So, I mean, I'm wondering why then, if all of these things seem to happen and there's cameras on it 24/7, why can't they just say, okay, well, now we have proof that there are ghosts?
yeah, I think they are saying that. Yes.
But they are not. The news doesn't say it. Nothing says it like that. You're talking about their website that says it. And I'm going to say that this library still probably wants people to go there, you know? So I'm going to say that they kind of push this narrative.
They do have tours.
Yeah,
And
they
you
have-
do,
they have
and
ghost
you can,
tours
and
there.
they do. I don't know if they, you know, again, it's been that's a newer phenomenon. The hauntings have happened a lot longer before that.
Okay?
So, all right. In the end, then, what say you? Do you think it's haunted?
By round of applause, do you guys think the Willard Library is haunted?
Yeah, right. There we
They-
go.
There's like 2 people.
No, that was like almost
who here does
everybody.
not believe the Willard Library is haunted?
Yes, right. He's the one. No,
There
seriously.
has to be like 4 dozen people that
I-
were clapping during that, so I'm gonna say, you know,
So I'm going to say if we've all just learned tonight that there's a 24-hour ghost hunting camera setup that we can all go watch, awesome. Let's be careful, right? Because we could get addicted to that real easily, I'm thinking, right? So, you know, moderation with the ghost cam watching. But no, send it if you do watch it and you see something, certainly send it to them, but also send it to us. Send it to Pat at ghostlypodcast.com and let him know that it's haunted.
yeah, I would love to hear that. So this is October. This is the spooky season. Right now, we are currently talking about celebrities on Ghostly. We just did Joan Crawford. We did Lucille Ball before that.
absolutely.
And the next episode that comes out Wednesday at like 2 a.m. in the morning. You don't have to be up for that. It'll be out anytime you get up after that. Will be about John Lennon.
Yeah, and then
I'm
we
really
got
excited about that.
very excited. And then we got one more the week of Halloween,
Yes.
Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We always like to do a theme in October.
And we don't usually do weekly episodes. Usually we do bi-weekly
Yeah,
episodes.
so
But because
October
it's
is a
the
busy
spooky
month.
season, you know, we're trying to compete with people like, you know, Channeling Chavez and then Bob Anderson and Bob After Dark and all these other places. So we got to get on the ball. And
Yeah.
also, we like to record these so that our listeners need time to catch up so we can take December off,
Yes.
so that we can get a little time off from thinking about
Yeah.
Ghost for a little bit.
And also one more shout out too is we were recently on a little show called Bob After Dark.
Yes.
For his October month
Yes.
episodes where he's talking about different people that are in the paranormal world. So we appreciate him very much for having us
And he has
on. That
been
was super
calling
fun.
us, and he would need to call us tomorrow morning in order to do this, but he's been calling us and leaving voicemails for us to talk about these cryptids that he has. The first one was Broccoli Man. So we
Yes.
talked about that.
We did.
And then the next one that we talked about, which is on our last episode, the Joan Crawford episode, we talked about the Polish disco demon.
And we spent it's like a mini episode within the episode.
Yeah.
So that was super fun.
I'm not gonna lie, AI did some of that work for us too, but but thank you, Bob, for calling in and doing that. By the way, happy belated birthday, Bob. Happy 35th.
Yeah. Woo!
And thank you guys so much for having us. We really
Yeah,
appreciate
we really
it.
appreciate it. Thank you so
And
much.
until next time, stay ghostly.
Bye.
Give it up once again, Ghostly Podcast, Pat and Rebecca. Check out their podcast on all podcast platforms. Once again, feel free to visit our vendors. They got a lot of interesting stuff to sell and look at, so please check them out. The bar is still open, so check out the bar, Cash Bar, right down the hall. To the right is the Cash Bar. And thank you all for being here once again. Again, your donations tonight, your entry fee tonight, goes straight to Extra Life for Lurie's Children's Hospital. So give yourselves a hand there. And we got to thank Chuck Pullen once again for working our audio and sound tonight. Chuck bears a striking resemblance to Dr. Loomis from Halloween. So without the trench coat and acting manically. But we still got one more podcast here tonight. It's a podcast I'm very close to. I see a few shirts out there. We got Melissa. Who? Raise your, oh, right here. We got John. Heather is out there with her shirt. My sister Melissa, my mom, Count Panic. We got John. If you're a normal listener to Bob After Dark, we got John here. So you are John. There he is. You're the caller. He's the regular caller on Bob After Dark. So.
He didn't mention that part. He didn't mention I'm his dad. He said, I'm John, I'm a regular caller. Not his dad.
He's got the shirt, though. But again, I see all the shirts out here. Thank you. And we got, I believe Bob is almost ready to take the stage, so I'll be sitting here right next to him. So please welcome Bob Anderson from Bob After Dark.
In the cool of the evening when everything is getting kind of groovy, I call you up and ask you if you'd like to go with me and see a movie. First you say no, you got some plans for the night, and then you stop and say, alright, love is kinda crazy with a spooky little girl like you. You always keep me guessing.
Oh, hey there, children of the night, and welcome to the Sometimes Scaring is Caring Festival. I'm your host with the most, that enjoys toast, Bob, and alongside of me, as always, is my ever wonderful, ever vampiric, ever cape-wearing, and the first heartthrob of the paranormal.
Hey,
Count Panic
yeah.
himself. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'll take it, I'll
the
take it.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas of the paranormal.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas, yes. He couldn't be here tonight.
He couldn't. We invited him several times. Now
No.
we got several cease and desists.
Yeah, he's busy tonight, but remember my cape tonight, Bob. So
You legitimately did the one job I asked you to do.
I brought it. What a great event this is. Sometimes Scaring is Caring here tonight. Again, want to thank you all for being here. And Bob, raising money for charity for
Yes.
Lurie's Children's Hospital, that's fantastic.
It's good stuff. When I was born with a laundry list of problems, and if it wasn't for the help of a children's hospital, I wouldn't be here where I'm I'm at today. So when Bob After Dark first was building on a platform, I chose Extra Life because I've always seen them at conventions anyway. But, you know, children's hospitals are kind of important because if it wasn't for one, I wouldn't be here. So
Yeah.
I always try to give back.
Give him a hand. Yeah. Fantastic. Also, my thank yous, I forgot James brought the Ecto 1 out here too.
The
so-
Ecto one, yeah.
Yeah. Parked out front.
Also, we have Hiccup here, the Heart of Illinois Center of Unexplained Phenomena.
The Ecto is crucial because if it's not parked out front, it's easy to miss this building here at Club Cuyahoga. But we got to thank them. Of course, Club Cuyahoga, Bob, has a rich history of some strange paranormal occurrences.
Yeah, we were actually here ourselves doing an investigation at Club Cuyahoga, how many months ago?
A few months ago now.
It was cold.
Yeah.
So it was cold, then it got hot, and now it's getting
Yeah.
cold
Brought
again. So,
springtime. Yeah.
yeah, I think it was that lousy smarch weather.
Yeah. But Pete Grice was with us from Northwest Indiana Paranormal. Yeah. So Pete Grice fans
Pete's a
out
good
there.
guy.
Yeah. And of course, Steve was along with us. And yeah, some weird stuff sometimes going on here at Club Cuyahoga. But we thank them for having us here tonight. But
Absolutely. And while thank yous are coming out, I just want to thank all of my vendors for coming out this evening. You guys are absolutely amazing. I appreciate the one, you guys are driving all over the Midwest to be here, Chicagoland, and it means a lot to me that you guys set up tonight. So thank you to the vendors that showed up.
there you go. But now that that's out of the way, Bob, what's Bob After Dark all about?
Well, Bob After Dark is a show where we talk about legends, lore, and supernatural, things that go bump in the night, lights in the sky, and weird cryptid stories. And of course, your favorite. Jeez, I normally never blank on these.
blanked on it.
I blanked on it. Your favorite fabric softener to use on your cape.
Oh, man.
And of course,
What's the one with the teddy bear? Snuggle.
Yeah, but you know what? That's, it just goes by the commercials. But, I'm learning here a lot here tonight. I mean, I learned about, from the both podcasts, Ghostly and Chelling Chavez, about the shoes of St. John. I didn't know there were shoes being hung in St. John. And Goat Man and Whiting. You're from Whiting. Did you ever see a Goat Man?
I have never heard of and or seen a Goat Man in Whiting, and I've lived there my entire
Your mom's
life.
here. Have you ever seen a Goat Man? No.
No.
All right, well, that puts that to rest.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm calling. Oh, Jack isn't here right now because, of course, he's not.
He's left.
I was gonna be like, well, Jack, thanks for lying about the Goat Man.
Yeah, well, we'll tell him later. But Bob After Dark, of course, a weekly show you could hear live Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. on WJLB Radio, AM 1230, 104.7 FM. Then turns into a podcast on all podcast platforms. Again, we discuss really everything under the sun that's paranormal.
We do, and we're like those guys you see on TV, except we have a sense of humor. Because there is a sort of funniness to the paranormal sometimes that people don't fully understand. I think there's a certain humor to living and then dying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that
then
happens
there's
to
a
all
cer-
of us.
And then there's a certain humor to cryptids because you have things like Bigfoot that are terrifying, and then you have the Veggie Man out of West Virginia that's not so terrifying.
Yeah. Praying mantis, man. But there's different levels here. I mean, there's people that believe in the paranormal, may not believe in cryptids, or vice versa. Then there's UFOs. So really everybody has like a limit, or some people believe in it all.
Well, I always like to describe the paranormal in three ways, right? As far as people's beliefs. You have your believers that believe in things, which, 100% of this room is, except one individual.
One.
So it's 99.999% of this room are
He's
believers
outnumbered.
in the paranormal. Good job, Pat.
Yeah.
Let me tell you
Leprechaun,
about the Mobile, Alabama leprechaun. The what? Yes, we don't. Yes, good job, Ben.
He's here too. There you go. Give it up for Ben.
Yes, good
here
job,
tonight.
Ben.
But really, it varies about your believing level. Like, I know some people that don't believe in ghosts, but believe in Bigfoot and Nessie. And again, some people that believe in Bigfoot and Nessie, but don't believe in ghosts. I mean, really. And at the end of the day, you got to believe what you believe in, right?
Yes.
We don't discriminate on Bob After Dark.
No, we do not.
No.
And then you have your skeptics on the other end of that, which are people that don't believe in anything.
Yeah, that's true too.
Pat from Ghostly Podcast. If you look up.
Okay.
But we didn't ask that. We were just talking about ghosts, and now you're. Well, I kind of believe in some stuff. But you don't believe in ghosts. No.
But usually each show has meat and potatoes, spooky news stories, as well as a spooky topic of the week. But tonight here live, Bob, at Club Cuyahoga, I mean, it's really a free-for-all. What do you want to dive into here?
So we're going to talk a little bit about two haunted spots here in Northwest Indiana that you yourself can go to. One is open to the public 365 days of the year. It's a bike path. In Griffin.
Chuck's worst nightmare. He hates bike paths.
Reeder Road, and then we're going to talk a little bit about the Crown Point Jail in Crown Point, Indiana. My favorite place to investigate in Northwest Indiana. That's not the old WJOB studio.
Again, I know we were here at Club Cuyahoga investigating. We were at the old WJLB studio in Hammond investigating. Very eerie stuff going on over there, but that's not open to the public, so it's not as, I guess we could talk about, but you can't really go there.
The Crown Point Jail offers tours, though. They offer historic tours, and they offer paranormal investigations as well.
Yeah, they do. And Sandy, who does a great job at the
absolutely.
Crown Point jail cell. You know, you got to protect your history because for a while there, that place was in danger, Bob. I mean, they were looking to make a parking lot out of it.
What people don't understand about like haunted locations is how much work goes into maintaining a haunted location and the money that goes into it. You know, you have these places that people rent out for events or for these paranormal investigations, whatever. But what people don't realize is that they still have to make their bills on top of it. So I was just at the Roth House last night raising money for Perfect Little Paws because I don't ever stop moving, I guess.
Great causes.
Yeah, one charity to a next. But I was talking to John, the owner of the Roth House, last night, and he was telling me a little bit about the concept of just running the location and how hard it could be. And Sandy in Northwest Indiana, I would say, is probably running the most well-known haunted location. And she keeps it going, man, doesn't stop. She's resilient as all could get up about it.
Yeah. Who here in the room has took a tour of the Crown Point jail cell? We got a few people over here that took a tour of it. It's eerie, right? I mean, you're kind of stepping back in time to where all the prisoners, men, women, they had a children's upstairs.
The juvenile hall,
Juvenile hall, yeah. But like you're stepping back in time, and the vibes are not right, really, Bob. I mean, it is got a creepy feeling to it for sure.
When you look at what a haunting is, Count Panic, there's two forms of what a haunting is. One is intelligent haunting, which is a haunting that you can interact with or that interacts with you. And then you have your, my word.
Maybe Chuck knows.
Help me out here, folks. Residual.
There
Thank
you
you.
go. It's a hard word to
Then there's
say,
the
too.
residual hauntings. Yeah, thanks. So the residual hauntings are like time loops, where things will run on a loop at all times, and you can't interact with it. It doesn't interact with you, but it doesn't stop doing what it's doing. So 3 o'clock in the morning, you hear footsteps down the hall, and you hear those footsteps no matter what you do, no matter what you try to do to stop it, you'll always hear those footsteps, but that would be a residual haunting.
Yeah.
Thank you for the save, by the way, whoever said the word residual, because, man, do I feel silly now.
I remember the first time kind of going in there was with Don Bernacki, who's a teacher there at Crown Point High School. He takes his, now they have high school clubs for paranormal
Yeah,
investigations.
Pete Grice, that's our buddy over in the Griffith
Pete
area.
Grice does Griffith. Don Bernacki does Crown Point. I don't know if there's any others, but when we were in high school, I don't think we had anything like that.
No.
But they travel up every year to the Crown Point jail cell, the old sheriff's jail cell, and that's the first time I kind of went on that tour, and it was just something else. I mean, it's housed John Dillinger briefly, right?
I was going to say, the most famous resident at the Crown Point Jail is John Dillinger, and people think that John Dillinger still haunts the place, but reality was Johnny wasn't there very long. His stint in Crown Point is known for him escaping Crown Point.
Yeah. But how do we know he's not there for sure?
When you look at what a haunting is and what it takes for a haunting to happen, you need to have spent some time there or have an emotional impact on your life. Dillinger, even in the movie Public Enemy, which have you ever seen that movie?
I saw Public Enemies. I was
Public
actually maybe who was here when they were filming that in Crown Point? Did you go see the Johnny Depp when he was out there? All Johnny Depp did was come out and wave and went back inside. But Johnny Depp's still alive. He's not haunting the place. But Dillinger himself, we don't know for sure. Again, you think that the time was spent just a short amount of time there that he wouldn't even, his spirit wouldn't even think of haunting it.
No, not at all.
No.
The same thing with the Joliet prison. People say that Gacy haunts the Joliet prison, but Gacy was only there for a brief stint of time. And so you wonder if there's, you wonder about these ghost stories and the people that are supposedly attached to them, but you wonder why they'd be haunting a certain place that, they only.
You got to have an attachment to the place. I guess, to come back
Exactly.
to. Yeah.
Right. Usually a place of your death, or, maybe you spent a long time in a hospital or something like that,
Or an object, right? Spirits attached. This is why if you go antiquing, right, you can't really, if you see a mirror in an antique shop, you're putting yourself at risk, aren't you? Because you bring the mirror home. No?
Bring it home.
Bring it home.
Because then when the haunting happens, then you have to call me to come over and investigate it. So.
I guess. They always say stay away from mirrors at antique shops, but items inside the jail cell, I mean, things that they could latch on to. I mean, we don't know all the inmates that stayed at the Crown Point jail cell, but we do know that there's a possibility, due to people going over there and investigating, that a few do linger.
Yes. I wanted to point out the one thing that you actually have done there, if you want to tell the story.
Yeah. No.
You were playing poker with the female inmate spirits that were still lingering.
Don Bernanke. I'm a hit with the ladies in the supernatural realm. Not so much here on Earth, but in the supernatural
Don't
realm.
let him fool you, folks.
Come on.
He is the heartthrob of the paranormal, after all.
There's only two of us on the show, though. But we were doing, Don Bernanke had a deck of cards, and he was saying, well, geez, let's play around with some ghosts here. So I forget the mechanics of it all, but basically they laid out a hand, and Don asked, hey, do you want to flip it over or not? And most often than not, though, Bob, they would win the hand by him asking, hey, do you want to flip your card or whatnot? But, by them just kind of doing that and it being proven time after time that they were choosing the right cards to flip, I mean, how do you really explain something like that? Luck, maybe, but.
Or, those female inmates that were there once upon a time ago really wanted to take advantage of the concept of gambling with a handsome young man like yourself.
Well, that brings up a good point, Bob, because, when they're there, that's a place that gets a lot of tours, but, we always hear about when, younger women go in there to investigate. They kind of get most of the traction, or they might have feelings on their body. I know one woman said she got scarred going out of there.
Yes.
On her body. There was a scar when she walked out. But, when that happens, they're basically, they don't get that kind of visitors, I guess, as much as may say male visitors.
No.
There's more males that come there to investigate than women. And when women do show up to investigate, well, then those past ghosts kind of get a little touchy-feely.
You're about to make Patrick's head explode.
Oh,
Sitting over there.
I saw Patrick moving to the side.
His head's about to explode because we're sitting here talking about, you playing poker with ghosts as if it was a concrete physical thing that happened. Poor Pat over there is like.
Oh, video. Don might have video of that. I got to ask Don Bernanke, but he might have took some video of that. But you yourself, Bob, too. The many times you were there, I mean, you got some reaction too. Despite not being a younger female, you still got some reaction.
Are you? Never mind. No, the one thing. Why do you hate me? Anyway, I was saying the experiences I had in there when we did our solitary confinement lockup, when we all went in the cells and we locked ourselves in for the solitaire. That was a bit intense, because whatever's lingering around the Crown Point jail is pretty is pretty upset that it's still lingering in there, especially the whatever's lingering in solitary confinement.
Do you know when you walk into a place if it's a good spirit or an evil spirit? I mean, what's the vibes you?
Good and evil are subjective words, Cal Panic.
Okay.
We dark and light.
Menacing,
Menacing.
Yeah.
Dark and light.
dark and light.
Good and evil are subjective.
But do you know when you walk into a place?
It depends. You know, some people ask me if I'm a medium, and I say no, I'm about a double extra large. Thanks, Joe Diamond, for that joke. I'll never stop using it.
We'll be here all night, folks.
Be
but-
here all night. Hey, oh, it was about a. I heard it.
Should I repeat it? Okay, thank you, sir.
He asked how long was the confinement?
We sat 5 minutes locked up in the solitaire, and we each had our own EVP recorder too, which was pretty neat. 5 minutes just locked down, and it was you just kind of feel alone in that situation, you know. And you got to think people were spending months in solitaire. I just spent 5 minutes in there, and I felt myself just completely, you know, whatever. You feel it and you experience it, and it's such a vibe, you know.
What's the feelings you get? With lightheadedness or
For me, it feels like a punch in the gut.
really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Whenever, you know, if I walk into an area that feels haunted, I'll, you know, I'll feel it first. Like it'll come to me, and it'll feel a little heavy at first, and then I'll feel like I got punched in the stomach when it's ready to converse with me, and yeah.
And that probably is a common occurrence for a lot of people that go in there. And I know they still offer. They do a weird thing because they have their haunted house, which they put on every year.
Every year.
Yeah, they put it on every year for a fee, and it all goes. The proceeds go for the jail cell and upkeep with that. But then, you know, the place is actually haunted as well. It's kind of like the Reaper's Realm situation around here.
Yeah.
By the way,
Rest in peace.
I know it's a sore subject.
I was going to say, can I be Count Pullman tonight, the extra producer?
We don't want to
course.
bring up the takeover of Reaper's Realm in Hammond,
Rip
Indiana.
Reaper's realm. But no, I was going to add, Bob. So I was there with Don at the Crown Point Sheriff's in the jail and the sheriff's house. We did an overnight. We brought in somebody from England, Chris Halton. We did an overnight there, and that's one of the things that you can do. You can bring a group in and do overnights. I know my wife tried it one time. The group was there for about 15 minutes before they slept in somebody's car, because, like you said, women don't tend to do well in that
Yeah.
place. But there was, I think, the way you mentioned it, Bob, you said a heavy energy, and that's something that we noticed a lot of. We did some Ovilus and EVP and things like that, and it was interesting because in the Dillinger cell, they were picking up all sorts of people that weren't Dillinger, essentially. There was somebody who talked about being there from the 30s and being wrongly convicted and things like that. So there's sort of a common area at the end of that cell block. We spent a lot of time in there. And again, it's just sort of that heavy energy that you talk about, Bob. It's just sort of that unease. It's like a lack of peace, you'd almost say.
Thank you, floating and voice head there. We appreciate it, Chuck.
Well, he brings up a great point. Like, when you feel that, Bob, do you ever have to excuse yourself from an investigation, or do you stick
Oh
with
no,
it?
just keep going.
Just keep going.
Just keep going. Eventually, it'll tire itself out.
It wears off at the end there, you know. But you know, that place itself is beautiful. I encourage everybody that didn't go inside, take a tour. Please go take a tour, because it's a part of history here in our region.
It is.
It's you know, if we lose that history, then, you know, it's a shame.
Right.
Makes me sad.
So the last place I want to talk to about tonight, because we have some business we have to attend to before the evening's over.
We have business?
We do. We have
Tonight?
we have to do some giveaways.
Oh, we got giveaways.
We have
too. Okay.
giveaways, yes, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So the first place I ever investigated in my life, I was a young whippersnapper, probably about the age of 16, 17 years old. And I went on my first investigation, and I use that term very loosely because I showed up with just a flashlight. A flashlight and the will of a boy that wanted to see a ghost really bad.
That's all you need is a flashlight.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tell that to my wallet when I have to get my new equipment every year.
Just a flashlight.
Just a flashlight,
Yeah.
that's all you need.
Yeah.
But I went out to a place called Reeder Road.
Griffith, Indiana.
Griffith, Indiana, that stretches from Griffith all the way into Crown Point, I believe, right?
Who's been?
Anybody ever been to Reeder Road before? Yeah.
The majority have been here because Bob being a region rat, a
Yeah.
219er, Reeder Road is like the first place they tell you about that's haunted. And when I was a kid, used to go up there. I know a lot of folks here. And back then it was a legit road. And, you know, during October, folks would come and the cops would say, hey, you got to get out of here. But that was the ghost story of the region still to this very day. Reeder Road in Griffith, Indiana. So what's the... I know it probably involves a woman, right?
There's actually a man in black that says to be wandering in there, and one of the stories is that he's a preacher and that he locked his congregation in the church and burned it down. with
What an
them
awful
inside.
preacher.
But that story never happened.
Oh.
It's just
Hooey.
it's a bunch. There was, so Pete, our friend Pete Grice from Northwest Indiana Paranormal was telling us that he was able to track down a death certificate from a Griffith police officer whose car died on some train tracks on Reeder Road. And I mean, there is at least one case of some sort of death that's happening on that neck of the woods. But I'm here to ruin it for you and tell you it's not haunted at all.
Now, how can you say that, Bob?
It's haunted by the people that go in there generation after generation.
But wouldn't you say that on this side of the story, you're the skeptic, but for the people that did witness something out there, they are the believers?
Yeah, there's not many times I'll side with the skeptic, but when it comes to Reeder Road or the Gary Witch.
But okay, so the folks that have been out there, have you felt something? Have you captured anything? They did. See? We're being proven wrong already, Bob. Nope, Chuck's got the mic.
And, oh, I hate myself. I got a big mouth. Anyway.
Where did
we're
I get
coming
it from?
down there,
That's from your own mother right there. You got to listen to your mother.
I do listen to my mother.
There you
trust
go.
me.
So change your tune here. But Reeder Road itself has changed over the years, the landscape of it all, because it used to be an actual road. If I remember, kind of a dirt road. Long
It was a
ago.
dirt road
Dirt
when I
road.
went there. These days,
And
it's
you wouldn't,
nice.
and you wouldn't even know though going down it because it was so confusing to find sometimes. And you were looking for the street sign, and you didn't know if you were on the right road. Then you had to watch out for the houses there because they didn't like.
They don't like people wandering through Reeder Road at
But
night.
why would you buy a house on a haunted road if you don't want people coming in to look for you?
Okay,
It's the same
I'm gonna
thing-
digress on that a little bit, just
Oh.
because I was going to add to that. So I actually took a group from out of town after Wickedly Whiting.
Yeah.
They were asking about it. So I took them to what you call sort of that trailhead where the chain link fence is. So that when you get there, at the end of that road, what's there now, there is a house, as you mentioned, with about 50 signs that said, private property, we will shoot you, don't come any further, stay away. Every sign you can imagine. We were there for about 12 seconds before a squad car and a pickup truck surrounded us and lit its lights up and made it clear we weren't welcome. So I
See,
would
that's
just I wanna
surprising they
preface
still do that then.
Right, and this was just a couple weeks ago. So I think during the month of October, definitely not the time to visit.
November 1st, go
November
out there.
1st is a good time to go out there.
Okay, we'll remember that. But even to this very day, the cops are still out there chasing people out of the territory. But now, as Chuck mentioned, it's kind of different. It's basically kind of like a bike trail nowadays.
Yeah.
So it's not really so much a road,
A nice paved bike trail.
but easier to walk down now and But it's perceived. Like sometimes people, again, I know you mentioned the Man in Black, but there was also not Johnny Cash, but the Man in Black that was out there. But there's also the Woman in White story that Pete Grice tells us. And again, always wearing white. But there's that whole notion of this area is historic. We perceive it to be haunted, and it's the kind of legends that stick with us over time. Even if you don't believe it, Bob, these folks out there might.
They might. There's nothing wrong with that. I want people to believe what they believe, and what they don't, they don't.
Yeah.
I just happen to be a skeptic when it comes to Reader Road.
Okay, well, and we accept that because we accept it all too as well. But
all right,
when you go, I gotta ask you a question too.
Yeah, hit me.
As an investigator, you kind of go into these places. I mean, what's the level for you determining if a place is haunted or not haunted? Because a lot of these things, the equipment you use, you try to first debunk occurrences first. So what has to happen for you to say, hey, this place is haunted?
When multiple things happen in a situation that how do I say? If multiple things happen during in one location that I can't explain, then I eventually will start wondering if the location might be haunted or there might be something going on there. But I have to go in without a doubt and be able to prove that everything that I discover, I can, try to rule something out. If I have a EMF detector and the EMF detector goes off, well, why did it go off? Am I near wiring? Am I near fluorescent lights? Whatever it might be. Okay, now I know why it's going off. But if there's no reason why it's going off and I get a blip, especially if when I say, hey, make it blip, and it does,
So one occurrence happens, you still gotta have a couple more.
I need a few before I start really buying into it.
Because a lot of times you can think, well, faulty pipes, maybe that's why the water's running, or electricity might be kind of spotty, so that's why lights are flickering. But you need a full-on proof. Now, a lot of people need to see a spirit to believe in it. They don't go by noises, they don't go by sounds. They have to see something physical walk by. Have you ever saw any like a physical spirit?
I have never seen a full body apparition. It's on my list.
You can't force it though.
No, you can't.
Can't force it.
It'll happen when it happens.
It'll happen when
so
it
those
happens.
are just 2 locations haunted in Northwest Indiana. There's plenty of other spots around.
There is a number of them, right?
There is, yes. But we were only here to talk about 2 tonight because we're doing some giveaways and I got to do some thank yous and we got to get a count of the money.
Before we do the giveaways, do you have time for one more thing?
I have time for as many things as you want.
All right, we got time for more things. But I know it was pitched before by Jack and, of course, Ghostly. But does anybody want to share a story? Again, we're here for all you as well. Chuck, can we get the mic passed around here? It's not so much a story. Yeah. Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Consider this a Q&A right now. Yeah.
I was there. I was there before a certain gentleman took it over and bought it and made a movie about it. I have pictures of when I was there that I can't explain. Full-on shadow person in photo that wasn't there when I took it. And I'm not talking like, a disembodied shadow. I'm talking like a full-on figure of a person. I had equipment die out there the second I got out of my car. My phone drained 50% in 5 minutes. Pretty legit, but then a certain individual got involved and really, made that spot something that it wasn't, I think. And I think there was a lot of things blown out of proportion for that story.
Can I jump in on that one too?
Yes.
Chuck.
Count Pullen. So we actually, I interviewed Marissa Kwiatkowski, who wrote that original article from the Indy Star. I interviewed her the day after that story went public. It was a Sunday afternoon, and we had her on Monday. So we interviewed on the radio. We talked to her about it, and she's, again, an award-winning journalist, very, very well, world-renowned, journalist, wrote a lot of articles about things. And so she was on our show. Father Maginot was on our show.
Yeah.
And what was interesting about it when I first talked to her about it was she was very matter-of-fact about it. She said, look, it doesn't really matter what I believe as a journalist. This is the story presented to me. And along the course of doing my investigating and interviewing people, as a good journalist does, she met lots of people, including Father Maginot, people from DCS, the police department, many people that swore that the events that occurred to that family happened, and they were there and they saw them happen. So it was a very interesting story from that perspective, the idea that so many people, again, police officers, DCS, hospital, nurses, people were willing to come forward and say, yes, we saw this, I was there, and it happened. And she wrote a very good article about it. By the time that we talked to her that next day, she said, I've been getting phone calls from all over the world, from the Daily Mail and all these people, because it went viral within a day. But she was gracious enough to come on local radio and talk about it. And
That really took the country by storm here in Gary, Indiana. And with the Demon House, too, the Gary Demon House, I mean, there's been a bad strand of luck for people that were involved with that. Of course, you had the stories about the kids walking on the walls and blood from the walls as well. But we also, as Chuck mentioned, he interviewed Father Maginot, but we did it as well for Bob After Dark. And what a great episode that was.
Oh, that's one of my favorites we've ever done.
And it's not often a Catholic priest will come on the radio and talk about a house he worked an exorcism on, but that's who they call around here for the exorcisms. But the house itself, Bob, now has been destroyed.
It's destroyed.
So when that happens, when you destroy a haunted home, what happens? Is this a portal at that point?
It depends. I mean, the idea is that you take away the structure. It's still there. It's the ground. It's the dirt. It's the essence of the area,
I think they put up a sign that says, "Warning, portal to hell here."
Yeah, right. Big
Don't walk your dog in
old
this
sign that
lot.
said, "Warning, portal to hell, do not cross."
Stay away from the portal to hell. But that's great. Again, Gary Demon House again took this country kind of by storm here. Anybody else? Just making sure, questions, answers, stories. Wow.
Nice. Excellent.
Fantastic. People love true crime too around here, so
Yes.
we'll pitch that too. Wait, we got
have a question.
John. We got Rebecca. John's got the mic though here. I don't know.
The MLB Major League Baseball playoffs are going on right now.
Oh, okay.
And
Sorry that we
it's
dragged you away,
ironic
John.
that yesterday on Fox News that there is a hotel in Milwaukee. I believe it's called the Pfister Hotel or Pfister Hotel. That all the Major League Baseball players do not want to stay there because they all claim that it's very haunted. There was things that they hear noises. One player said that after he left and he came back, all his clothes were spread all over the floor.
Wow.
So I don't know if you guys ever heard of it. I never heard of it, but
Have you heard of it?
it was.
I honestly-
it's called the Pfister or Pfister Hotel in Milwaukee.
Pfister?
Pfister. They've done an episode about it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, like I said, I just heard of it yesterday, a couple days ago. It was on Fox News and there was a paranormal guy telling the story about it that, a lot of Major League Baseball players that, have to go to Milwaukee to play a game have stayed there, and they claim that, they don't want to stay there anymore because, of things that's been happening. So I don't know if you guys were aware of that.
Well, there we go. We got to watch catch a ghostly episode on that as well. But thank you, John,
Yes.
for the question. Rebecca, I believe you had something too. Oh, Pat's making a run for it. He's sprinting like a gazelle.
Good job, Pat. That sprint was insane, man.
It's fast. It's very
I know,
fast.
right? Jeez. You think we're on like live or something, but no. So when we did investigation at the Crown Point Jail, I had two things happen to me. So did you guys do the thing where you stand in the doorway to the cell and see if you get like pushed?
They did do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've done that.
I absolutely had that happen to me.
You got pushed?
Yes, twice.
Yeah.
And it was not just me like, oh, you're standing and
No.
you're rocking. Like it was, and the The cameraman caught it behind. He was behind me, like
Yeah.
filming what happened. Super creepy. And then we were there for an investigation, so lots of video, audio, all the things. And at one point, you can hear something say my name.
Wow, damn, that's creepy.
Super creepy.
Yeah,
That's all I'm gonna say.
that's very eerie.
I will also say I was like I got the sickest I've ever. I've been in years after that investigation.
Would you go back?
No.
No, okay. One and done.
Too cold, Pat says.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It's very cold in there.
One and done. Yeah.
Anybody else?
Thank you, Rebecca.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Oh. Oh, wait, we gotta stand away from the speakers there. It's very technical.
Am I picking up?
Hey.
Now I'm picking up. But anyway, Pete and I went to an event there at the Crown Point Jail with Pete and with Kara Phillips. And I also was with Nick Carboni and Bree Hollinsworth. They had a nice event there. In the upper level, in the very last cell on the entire block, I literally had an entity reach an arm out and wave at me from the last cell.
Nice.
And we must have had 15 paranormal investigators there that were seasoned. And at the table, at the dining table, it went insane. We had at least 6 different instruments lighting up. The activity just exploded. It was like you were with special people, so therefore they were reacting to the special people that had abilities that could actually see and hear what they were doing.
Yeah,
So
that's amazing.
Crown Point Jail corrals.
And that's why it imports the pictures too. So sometimes you could capture things in photos that you don't see in real life up front. But although you don't believe, you're not a big orb guy, you said, right? No, you're not an orb guy?
No, it's dust, bugs, light bends.
What if you see faces in the orbs? What does that mean?
Reflection.
Reflections, okay. Well,
Listen, I'm 100% a believer, man.
I know you are.
But there's certain things of evidence that just
Dust.
show me an orb, and I'm going to tell you need to dust.
Yeah, you got a dust. Anybody else? Going once, going twice. Oh, right at the end here, we got Robert.
Rob Tillion.
Oh. Is he too close to the speaker?
Oh, let's see. There we go.
There.
So I know you say orbs are dust.
Yes.
But what about people who have actually seen orbs with their eyes and not
Oh.
on a camera?
Dust.
It's still dust?
Oh, yeah.
Even if it's like a solid white dot and there's dust around it, you think it's like their eyes playing a trick on them?
There's lots of things. Okay. Oh, man. So I spent
Oh,
5
did I
years.
start something?
I spent 5 years as an eyeball nurse.
Yeah.
And I can tell you lots of things that'll make your eyeballs see flashes of light that you're not supposed to be seeing. I can't tell you that. Shines of light, though, like, man, you need to get your retinas looked at because a retinal detachment's a real problem. Sorry, Rob. I'm with you.
No, you're
I'm,
good,
on-
man.
I'm the
You're good.
believer. I'm a
I
believer, but
appreciate
man,
the
just
honesty.
orbs. Give me anything else. I love a good piece of evidence, but man,
So what
Oh.
that's some green dust right there.
No, it wasn't, brother. It was not green dust. This, again, I am like you. I'm very, very skeptical of orbs, immensely. But when it comes out green and comes up the way it did out of the ground where we know at least 12 people were buried, that was incredible.
That's pretty impressive. I'm going to give you that one. Swamp gas. Thank you, Count Poland. Appreciate
Bob's going
that.
to have to watch himself in the parking lot here about these orbs. I think a lot of people disagree about the orbs, but, oh, James.
That's a big piece of dust.
That's
Swamp gas from Venus there, James.
One day you're going to see an orb that you can't explain.
And I'm looking for that day, but man, orbs will come out in different shapes and stuff like that, and it's like I want to tell people that yes, you're having an angelic vision, but in reality, no, you're seeing a bug that's just bent in light.
Wow. Nothing there. How do you explain that?
Dust.
Dust.
Now, see, here's the thing. I'm sounding like a grumpy skeptic up here.
People paid to hear Bob talk about orbs here.
No, you're not. It is one piece of evidence that I'm going to sit here and say no to. It's just.
In the back over there.
It can be. Yes.
I would like to share an orb story that I had.
Oh, sure. I'd love to hear it.
So I'm invited by a lot of cool, groovy, witchy-ish paranormal friends, and if you don't have any witchy, cool paranormal friends, you look around. You got more than you would know. But so me and Milo and Nicole get invited to a lot of cool things because of these friends. Hey, do you guys want to go sit in a field and wait till a ghost shows up? Yes. Hey, do you want to go sit in the field and summon UFOs? Yes.
Wow.
And a lot of these times we have what we would call a tech guy, and we got Eric. He shows up with EMFs and radar and LiDAR, whatever he's got. I don't know what he's got. He's got a lot of things in some fancy cases. The night vision, and he's taking pictures and he's taking readings. So a couple of times, your eyes do play tricks on you because here's a bunch of people, and you feel like Linus in Great Pumpkin sitting in a field. There's just a bunch of people in a field with laser pointers going, "What was that? What was that?" And then we look at Eric, and he'll review footage, and he'll say, "That was a bug," and it flies in front of your eye, and it, and he checks that off, and we go, "Ah, of course." But there are some times that the anomaly, and whatever the Latin term for anomaly is, it is an unexplained thing that on occasion we just check off as don't know what that was. Eric don't know what it was. So whether it's your mind playing tricks on you or not, it's fine. So I get that, had those. There was one particular night where me and Nicole were taking a walk, sun's going down, woodsy area, Mokina. Shout out, anybody? I need a ride home.
Anybody?
Anybody? Mokina. All right, I'm riding with you. Riding with you. So, sun's going down, and I'm not really familiar with this area that we went to. It just seemed like a cool walk.
Yeah.
And it turns out it's a Frisbee golf course, a froth course, whatever they call it. So, again, the sun's going down. Me and Nicole are going to the edge of some woods, leaving an area. And when you step into certain woodsy areas, I don't know if anybody's familiar with walking into the woods at dark, there's a definite sensation, like you hit a wall and you're like, oh boy, I crossed over and now whatever happens, I made this cosmic agreement, we're doing this thing. We saw, this is me and her, we saw what looked like two gentlemen, we assumed, leaving the Frisbee golf area, and they had headlights on. They had the lamps on their head, and we were going in, and they were coming out. So we assumed, okay, I'm gonna be a smart ass to these guys and say, hey, what should I be looking out for? Hole number 2, right? Or whatever. So they're getting closer, and I'm waiting to engage with them. So we're getting closer, and it's almost had this feeling like it was drawing us closer, because it became this weird sensation where you ever have that dream where you were running and you weren't moving, but you're moving real fast. That kind of sensation came over us, and it kept like drawing us to it. And now these two headlighted men were not headlighted men. They were just orbs, and they dropped down from head level down knee level. So I thought, they're on their knees looking for something, And then it is a Frisbee golf course, and all day long you just see guys wandering through the woods looking for their lost Frisbee.
Yeah.
Right. So I said, wow, these guys are really searching. These must be like their mom gave them to them or something. They're precious because they're out there at night getting it.
Yeah.
we get closer, trying to get closer, and now these things have this really eerie-ish, beautiful at the same time flow. They're just floating, and they're knee level-ish now. That's some kind of detective saying I'm either lying or telling the truth. I don't know what that is. I'm going to go this way. So they have this beautiful, they have this beautiful just flow, I can say. And they're two dancing together.
Yeah.
They're kind of that glowy, greeny, yellow, eerie color like from the shake-up lights you would see, right?
Yeah.
And then my Nicole says, well, if that's like something unexplained, change, I'd like to see green. And it changed. They both turned green. And they floated and danced green. The whole time we're trying to get closer, and it's drawing us into the woods.
Wow.
And I think we're 10 feet from where we came in, but now we're 50 feet in. And it just keeps luring us. And I says, green's not the color. I said, blue, purple. And they literally changed blue, shifted over, danced over blue, purple. And I said, fireworks. A firework type, and both of them explosion, and it's like froze, like a fireworks frozen in time, and it just hovered back up. And she said, I'll never forget this one because this is what got me. She says, you only have to worry about it if they turn red and they like go higher. I don't know where this theory came, but she said if they turn red and go up higher, then we know they're not to be trifled with. Two orbs that were yellow, green, now purple, blue firework turned red, danced up leaf level trees, swooped up and around the corner some trees. Now she's running with my hand pulling, trying to pull her back, and it's luring her. That's what it felt like. It was luring her, and she's like, I don't know, some weird Little Red Riding Hood skipping into with the wolf around the corner. My whole body is screaming, let's get out of here, while she's got that fairy mind, like, oh, let's go chase these red lights through the woods.
That's what they want you to do.
Correct.
Yeah.
Not knowing the woods, not being fear-based very much in my life, I could say, but I found something that fear-based. Red glowing orbs in the woods, luring you around a corner that you don't know. So that got me, my experience with orbs. So I know I know what I saw, and she was there. It was very unexplainable.
Let's
So
see you explain
something-
that, Bob.
I can't. It's a good
Or
story.
the question I had for Rob when I just told him the story says, who follows them? Would you follow those being the, hey, I want to know what that is?
Pat would
That's
follow.
going right there.
You
Bob would
follow
follow?
them?
I'm going right there too.
In the
I'm
dark,
following.
around the corner,
people
not
might
knowing what's
follow
down
I'm
there.
going, I'm going right into them woods. Ain't stopping me.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you for
Go
your
right
story.
now.
That was
I'm
great.
going
Appreciate
in.
that. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
We have, it's like the price is right now. We have giveaways here.
All right, so
We don't? Oh, we have another story.
oh,
We got an extra ticket we got to put into the.
yes.
Everybody have a ticket
So
in here?
I want to give a quick shout out to one of the vendors. Crystal was super awesome and donated some door prizes and some lovely basket to give away too.
Somebody's beeper's going off.
Yes. So the first bag, the purple ticket, you would have
Shake it up real good, Bob.
I just did.
Oh, make it sure.
How much better do you want me to shake
Here,
it?
give me that. We got to shake it up real good here. Come on.
All right, go ahead and pick the first one.
Not looking?
All right, so the first bag goes to 523 is the last three numbers. 523.
523. Hey!
Hey!
One of our great vendors here today, Sylvia.
All right. There you go. Thank you, Sylvia.
All
All
right,
right,
Bob.
next one. Go for it.
Not looking around, not peeking. Here we go.
Last three numbers is 520.
Oh,
Hey, we got a
wait a
winner.
second. There's no hanky panky here, I swear. Bob picked it. Okay. Yeah, I don't want no conflict of interest going on here. My sister won. Congratulations. There you go. She's also sporting a Bob After Dark shirt, as many people are. There's Count Panic shirts. Where can people get merchandise, Bob?
BobAfterDark.com/merch. I also have T-shirts available by the girl with the purple hair right now. So if you're looking for a Bob After Dark T-shirt, I have them available over there. I have buttons and stickers, or BobAfterDark.com/merch.
All right.
All right, we got 2 more bags and then the big prize.
Wait, I did pick it out of the bucket, so there might be some good.
Here, I'll get
you
this
want to
one.
pick?
I got
Bob's
this
going
one.
to
I
pick
got
this
this
one.
one. I got this one. I got this one.
Watch his mom's going to win now.
503.
503. Hey!
Hey!
Heather, longtime fan of the show.
Yes, one of my biggest fans in the world. Thank you, Heather.
I think she's got the original T-shirt as well.
Yes, she does. That's an OG shirt.
Purple. Congratulations.
All right, last one. Go for it.
I'm not looking. I'm not looking. Here we go.
Last 3 are 524.
524?
Oh, wait.
Wait.
Oh, James won.
James.
Hey.
That's a lucky area right there. Well, you know what? He drove all this way from Peoria in the Ecto 1 out there that you see. Ecto. So he well deserved. Well deserved.
Congratulations.
Congrats, James.
All right.
What's
and
this
now,
Bob?
So,
these?
Yes, give me those.
All right, here you go, Bob. Oh, this is the big grand prize.
So this is for the big bucket, and thank you again, Crystal, for everything. That's super awesome of you to do. Yeah, please.
Yeah, just so there's no conflict here. For the camera, I'll slide this over. We got a lot of goodies in here. We got some good guys, Chucky and Tiffany, the bride of Chucky. We also shake it up again, Bob. We got a candle, a shirt, a lot of good stuff going on here. Art?
Michelle? Is she in the bar?
Well, wait, we want to be sure here.
All right. Can somebody give a shout out in the bar and say Michelle
Ask
won?
if there's a Michelle. If not, we'll draw
It looks
another
like
name.
Ballatine or Bellatine?
You have to be present.
Ballatine.
Is she here, though? Only if she's here.
And if they win the basket, they have to pay $5 to come in.
If she's not, I don't think they would get in here without paying, right? Is that, no, that's just Pat. That's not Michelle. Is there a Michelle back there? She's here? Yeah. Oh.
Oh,
the
look at
bartender.
the bartender wins.
Wow. You won.
Yes.
She's been supplying you drinks all night, and she won here. What a feel-good story.
Congratulations.
What a feel-good story. Congratulations.
So I haven't gotten a final count of the number yet, but the last time I checked, we were at like $220 raised for the hospital, so that's pretty cool.
Give yourselves a hand. You're all winners here tonight. You're all winners.
Yes. Check out Bob After Dark wherever you listen to podcasts at. Bob After Dark every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. I want you guys to check out Channeling Chavez on YouTube as well. And Ghostly Podcast, my podcast Yodas, wherever you listen to podcasts at as well. Thank you guys all so much for coming tonight. The vendors are tearing down now, but I'm sure if you go peek your head by, they're still probably selling some wares. And thank you guys so much for coming out to the first ever Sometimes Scaring Festival.
Thank you, Chuck. Thank you, Club Cuyahoga.
Thank you, Chuck.
Thank you all.
Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Good night, East Chicago.
I call you up and ask you if you'd like to go with me and see a movie. First you say no, you got some plans for the night, and then you stop and say